ESPN's coverage of the NBA playoffs is broadcast in high definition and available on ESPN HD. Welcome to Salt Lake City. It's Game 4 between the Jazz and the Houston Rockets.
Let's play hard, defend, rebound. Let's go, baby. Win those leads. 1, 2, 3.
Juwan Howard and the Houston Rockets taking on the Utah Jazz here in Game 4. McGrady and Yao carrying the Rockets. Boozer carrying the Jazz in a defensive series. They've packed Tim Legler. Tim, this series is very unique from the other 7, isn't it?
Well, it's the only series so far in the playoffs where every single possession is contested. It's a war. We're going to see a great one here tonight.
To our Burger King starting lineup we go for the visiting Houston Rockets. Yao's been great. They need more offense out of Battier. In the backcourt, McGrady and Rafer Alston, who struggled in this series. And for the Utah Jazz, Boozer's been terrific. Okur and Kirilenko both struggling offensively. Fisher and Williams in the backcourt for the Jazz. Houston took the first 2 games at home. Utah bounced back with a win in Game 3. And the Rockets will start with the basketball in Game 4 here in a loud and packed EnergySolutions Arena. Alston misses the game's first shot. Kirilenko with the rebound.
Well, Houston certainly would like to see somebody else hit some shots early in this first quarter to take a little bit of the pressure off of T-Mac and Yao, have to carry them offensively all night.
Yeah, the Rockets held to 67 points in Game 3. Yao and McGrady had 50, and the rest of the team had 17. In fact, only 2 other players scored besides Yao and McGrady. We've played over 2,900 NBA playoff games. Never prior to Game 3 of this series had only 4 players on one team score. Here's Yao working on Okur. Yao able to catch it deep that time and draw the foul. That's the first foul in the game.
And that is the key with Yao Ming. It's where he catches the basketball. I think the less work he has to do once he catches it, the better off the Rockets are going to be. That time he had 1 foot in the blue when he received that entry pass. Now it's just a matter of turning and shooting over who was ever guarding him, because obviously he's got a major size advantage down there and a major weight advantage.
You know, we talked in the open, Tim, about the fact that Okur's numbers are down. How much of that do you think, as you look at Jeff Van Gundy, the Rockets head coach, is that because Okur is so focused defensively on Yao?
Well, there's 2 factors, and that's definitely one of them. When you're leaning on a guy that weighs that much, that you're giving up that much size to and competing that hard, certainly it's going to take some of your energy, but it's also a tough matchup for him because Houston can put smaller players on Mehmet Okur at the 3-point line. It's very difficult for him to get open for his catch and shoot.
Yao took 16 free throws in Game 3, hit 14. 2 for 2 on that trip. Here's Boozer with a high arcer over Yao. He scored 41 in Game 2. In Game 1, he was just 4 of 17 for the field, with Yao defending him most of the night. And again, Yao catching it deep. Can't score, though, and Williams out of there with it for the Jazz. Houston back defensively. The Rockets, the best defensive team statistically in the NBA. Alston going for the steal. Picks up the foul, his first on the Rockets.
This is what we're talking about with Mehmet Okur. Yes, he's obviously sacrificed some of his offense, but he's certainly contributed in other ways. Playing Yao Ming, and a lot of times playing him straight up down there, especially when he can push him off the block. So he's done a nice job with rebound. He's had some steals, blocks, but they certainly want to see this guy get going offensively and rain some threes and free things up as far as Boozer inside.
Boozer gets the basket inside to tie it at 2. Yeah, Okur is shooting 17% from the field in the playoffs. That's the worst of anybody in the 2007 playoffs. But again, he forced Yao into 8 turnovers in Game 3. Again, Yao catching it deep. Working on Okur, and almost too easy for Yao in the short corner.
You see the difference that time where he caught the basketball, and that's something Houston doesn't do enough, in my opinion, which is move Yao Ming from weak side to strong, roll him into the post rather than come down and just post up and getting a wrestling match. And that time, Deron Williams sneaks free for a backdoor cut and a layup.
Williams finished 3rd in the most improved player voting. Monte Ellis of Golden State winning that award. Kevin Martin of Sacramento finishing 2nd. O'Grady yet to take a shot. Timer's inside of 10. They go to Yao again. And Yao connects. He's got all 6 for the Rockets.
Well, that time he had both feet outside the blue, but it didn't matter. He just caught, turned, and shot over. He knows Mehmet Okur can really only get a hand up about to his chin. He's not going to really contest his shot, so it's a comfort zone for Yao on that jump shot.
Boozer gets the roll. Well, Van Gundy told us today that if Yao catches it from 8 feet and in, he's probably the best in the league. And if you can get him 10 to 12 feet, that's where you can beat him and the Rockets as a team.
Well, sometimes Yao likes to be a little bit more of a perimeter-oriented player than Jeff Van Gundy would like. And you see right there, even he's out near the elbow. He's taken out of his comfort zone when he starts to dribble that area of the floor. Yao Ming obviously is going to try to establish deep position all night long. How effective he is at that will determine the outcome of this game.
Van Gundy's led the Rockets to the playoffs in 3 of his 4 years. And after that turnover by Yao, he took his fist and whacked his head as if to say, I know better than that. Unforced error. Here's Fisher. Won 3 titles with the Lakers. Knows what to do in the postseason. Okur is fouled after he got the offensive rebound. That's the second team foul on Houston. Jerry Sloan going for his 80th playoff win. He's got the most playoff victories in NBA history without a championship, although he's been to the finals twice and, of course, ran into the Bulls both times in the late 90s.
Fortunate enough to have an opportunity to play for Jerry Sloan earlier in my career, and I can tell you right now, I came away from that experience so impressed with this guy's character and his attention to detail and how he holds everybody on that roster accountable, including his star players. And I think that's why everybody that comes to Utah loves playing for this guy, and he gets the most out of what he has year in and year out because they believe in what this guy's saying and know he's truthful, he's honest, and everybody's equal on this team.
Boozer gets the rebound, can't stick it back in, and Hayes able to clear. Old Van Gundy told us he has so much respect for Jerry Sloan. In fact, he said if Sloan had 12 prima donnas on his roster, he'd get them all to play harder than they would for just about anybody else in the league. That's the type of coach that Van Gundy thinks Sloan is. And Sloan's record obviously shows that, regular season and playoffs, with the exception of that elusive championship. Shot clock down to 3, McGrady's first attempt of the game. And a foul is called on Hayes. That's 2 quick ones on Hayes and 3 on Houston.
And Mehmet Okur again doing a nice job on the boards. He got himself an offensive rebound and an opportunity to get to the line and get his offense going a little bit. He comes down defensively and grabs one there as well. Utah Jazz, one of the best rebounding teams in the league, as well as Houston. So we joked about it this morning with Jeff Van Gundy. We said when the ball goes up, it turns into a WWF cage match out there with guys just fighting each other, trying to get their hands on the rebound.
Okur with the basket inside. Mehmet Okur, an all-star this year, 18 points per game in the regular season, but struggling in the playoffs. But scoring that time to push it the lead to 3 for Utah, and a timeout by Houston. We'll talk draft, NBA and NFL draft when we come back.
Love this 7-layer dip. You can't jump with dip. No, it's a 7-layer crunch wrap. 7-layer dip wrapped up. See? It's good to go. It's good to go. It's good to go. Uh-oh.
Taco Bell's new 7-layer crunch wrap. Hearty beans and warm nacho cheese sauce layered with cool sour cream and guacamole. Wrapped up and good to go. To get the great taste of 7-layer dip, think outside the bun.
If you could travel like this, for the same price as this, why wouldn't you?
It's the same with auto insurance. With discounts up to 40%, it's possible to get the personal service of a State Farm agent for the same or less than those other guys. Call an agent 24/7 or visit statefarm.com.
What do you like best about being up here?
That's easy. I love the view. I love seeing all the places people had to go. I love being part of the company that helps those people get there. I love the fact that we're up here looking out over everyone down there. Kind of like angels, but instead of wings, we got a blimp. What do you like best?
I like seeing all the games. And all that stuff you said, too.
Innovative thinking up here so you can get there. Goodyear. Get there.
When we redesigned the GMC Sierra, our engineers examined everything and overlooked nothing. That's why the all-new Sierra has the best expected resale value of any new full-size pickup. Then we added the best coverage in America for a new level of confidence on the road or off it. That's professional grade.
Here are the top 5 picks in the 2007 NFL draft. Brady Quinn going all the way to number 22. Tracy McGrady remembers what it was like for him when he got picked by Isaiah Thomas and the Raptors.
It was just a feeling of relief, you know, to sit in that room, you know, knowing that it's a possibility that I might not get picked, And to be the only guy in that room, that's an embarrassment. I'm sure that's a bad feeling to be a part of. But, you know, Zeke stuck by his word, and I had to congratulate him on that.
That's our Gatorade cooler talk. Isaiah Thomas told McGrady he would pick him. He did. McGrady remembers, though, Rashard Lewis being the last person to leave the green room, eventually going in the second round of that draft.
Well, I think that turned out pretty well, Seattle.
Yeah.
they don't mind getting a guy as good as Rashard Lewis in the second round. We've got a couple great second rounders out here, and Carlos Boozer, Mehmet Okur, two guys that have played in all-star games, didn't go till the second round as well.
Coverage continues tomorrow on ESPN from 11 a.m. Eastern until 6 with all the action from rounds 4 through 7 of the NFL draft. And one of the best players in the NFL this year, period, whether rookie or not, was a 7th round pick, Marcus Colston of the Saints. So you're going to want to watch that throughout tomorrow on ESPN. Rebound by Kirilenko, and here comes Williams. Fisher firing from the corner. And boarded by Alston of Houston. Nice defense by Okur on Yao. Fisher splits 2 defenders and draws a foul. It's going to be a shooting foul, and that's 4 team fouls already on the Rockets team.
Well, and that time defensively, Mehmet Okur had a great tactic that time. He danced around Yao, went to the baseline side. Sometimes when Yao Ming, as big as he is, gets to backing up, trying to establish position, when you dance out, it's hard for him to maintain his balance. It's exactly what happened. The entry pass was thrown to the wrong hand. Mehmet Okur timed it perfectly. Utah Jazz now an opportunity to get some points in transition, which neither one of these teams have really had many opportunities in this series to capitalize on.
Foul was on McGrady, his first. Now Derek Fisher's turned into a pretty good professional. Former 24th overall selection by the Lakers in 1996. Spent his last 2 years with the Warriors, who, by the way, are up 2-1 on Dallas in that best-of-7 series. Interesting as you look at the East compared to the West. Looks like perhaps 2, maybe 3 of the East series are wrapped up, while everything's up for grabs in the West.
It's about what we expected out of the Western Conference as well when you saw these first-round matchups, particularly with Dallas and Denver.
Those teams coming out with a lot of energy and very confident against San Antonio and Dallas.
Travel is called on Yao. It's a 7-0 run by Utah. One official called a foul, and then another said, nope, travel occurred first. Kickball.
You can see Yao right now bent over, definitely looks winded, probably because they've gone to almost every possession in this game. And I think that they need to get Tracy McGrady a little bit involved in some isolation situations now and take over a little bit offensively, because Yao is obviously fatigued a little bit out there the first 5 minutes of this game.
Boozer from outside, no. Alston with a pull-up. And Rafer Alston, who during the regular season averaged 13 points per game, only averaging 9 in the series.
And he is so much more comfortable playing in the open floor. That pull-up jump shot, the ability to attack seams and get to the rim. Rafer Alston excels when the pace of the game picks up.
And he's the first Rocket other than Yao to score in this game. We already mentioned that only 4 Rockets scored in Game 3. A first in NBA playoff history as Deron Williams gets the J. 4 points now for the second-year man out of Illinois. Former 3rd overall selection of the 2005 draft by the Jazz. McGrady still looking for his first point. Shot clock down to 6. Battier inside of Okur, and he gets the finger roll.
It's a great patience by Shane Battier, taking that extra step after the contact. A lot of guys would have picked it up and shot a fadeaway jumper, kept his dribble, and got to the rim for a layup.
Alston comes away with a steal, set a career high with 129 in the regular season, and he finds a cutting McGrady to pull the Rockets within 1 as Tracy McGrady gets his first basket tonight.
Yeah, and again in transition, and this is what Houston has to do against a team like Utah. They're so physical in the half court. Any opportunity you get off a steal or defensive rebound to run, you've got to push it up. It's the best look you're probably going to get on that possession.
And offensive foul is called on Boozer. That's his first personal.
You see T-Mac's going to run here. Rafer Alston does a great job of pushing the ball as far as he can under the rim, draws the defenders, and then Tracy McGrady with the trail and the finish coming down the lane might be the easiest bucket that he's going to get tonight.
You know, you look at McGrady's numbers in the series. In game 1, he had 1 point in the first half, came back with 22 in the second half, at 31 in game 2. And obviously he and Yao carried the Rockets and kept them in the game in game 3 here in Utah. 2-1 series lead favoring the Rockets. Alston, an open 3, and that's a great sign for the Rockets. Alston now with 5.
That is big. Rafer Alston, I think that pull-up Jay he had a couple minutes ago now gives him a little bit of confidence. Spots up, great ball move at that time. Yao Ming out of the double team, the extra pass, and Rafer Alston gets the open look in the corner.
You talked about having several second-round draft picks as Derek Fisher gets hurt. Rafer Alston, a former second-round pick of the Bucks, as Fisher gets fouled and holding that shoulder.
Well, that's Yao Ming that time sliding on the pick and roll, trying to get out to prevent Derek Fisher from turning the corner, but really unnecessary that time for Yao to be there. Chuck Hayes was in position to help. You hate to see Yao Ming, if you're Jeff Van Gundy, pick up a foul that far out on the floor on Derek Fisher, a guy that's really just trying to get into the paint to create for somebody else.
And if you're Jerry Sloan, you hate to see a guy 6'1" going full speed into a guy 7'6" who's rock solid standing still.
Yeah, you know, most guys that have played this league near Yao Ming's size has been rail thin. Yeah. You think about guys like Sean Bradley and Manute Bowen. That's the kind of player you're talking about when you get into the 7'5", 7'6" range. Yao Ming is solid. I mean, this guy's quads are thick. He weighs a ton. And that time, unfortunately for Houston, just didn't get a chance to get over in front of Derek Fisher and picks up a cheap one.
It'll be Jaron Collins' turn as you see the feet of Yao. You know, you don't really get an appreciation for how big Yao is, how thick he is, how big those feet are until you see him in person, which we did today when we sat down with him for several minutes. So Collins in for Okur to guard Yao defensively.
Our producer, Mandy Cohen, pointing out they were the largest flip-flops she's ever seen. I mean, a small family could really rent that out for a month. Be very comfortable.
Yeah, the old little woman who lived in a shoe might want to rent that out. Hayes out to Battier and the extra pass to Alston. Able to knock down another jumper off the bounce. Alston has 7 and the Rockets have made 5 straight shots.
And Jeff Van Gundy is breathing a sigh of relief that somebody else is involved offensively. And it's something they just haven't really had in the series so far, obviously in game 3.
Boozer struggling from the field so far in the game. A lot like game 1 when he was just 4 of 17. He's 2 for 6 so far today. McGrady with the left hand, no. Boozer out to Williams. Numbers not there. Rockets pretty good transition defensively. Hayes did a good job, got his hand in there to strip Boozer. Rockets by 3 over Utah in game 4. And a foul going to be called on Kirilenko. That's his first and only the second team foul on the Jazz.
And I like what Tracy McGrady did that time. You know, a lot of times T-Mac's going to catch the basketball. Obviously, double teams are coming. Sometimes as an offensive player, you want to go immediately after you catch the basketball because your defender relaxes for that split second because they know a double team's coming. That time, Kirilenko wasn't ready for the quick move by McGrady. Picks up a foul out on the floor.
Tracy McGrady, it's been well documented, 0-5 career in the postseason. But his team up 2-1, trying to go 3-1 with game 5 in Houston on Monday. Shot clock is at 5. Alston for 3, too strong there, and a rebound for Boozer. Boozer averaging a double-double so far in the series. Mutombo's come into the game now for Yao. Giricek with 10 points in game 3. Shot clock down to 5. Boozer over Hayes. 2 of 7 now from the field is Carlos Boozer.
Boozer's actually much more effective anytime he can turn into the lane from either block. Not as good a turnaround baseline jump shooter.
Battier able to get away from Giricek and score.
Well, this is a great sign for Houston right now because this looks more like a balanced team now offensively. Other guys stepping up, taking advantage of opportunities with 3 defenders oftentimes focusing on where Tracy McGrady is on the floor.
Harpring from outside. And what's also happening, Tim, is the crowd is out of it. The crowd was a huge factor in game 3.
Well, they energize this team, and they live off of it. They play so hard, so much intensity, and they're so used to them just shutting teams down defensively. When a team has a little bit of a run, they take them out of the game.
Loose ball foul on Mutombo is first. Rockets on an 11-1 run over the last 4 minutes. They lead by 5.
5 bricks. No one's ever jumped 5 bricks. There's a rumor of some guy in the next neighborhood who cleared 4 bricks and a small chunk of wood. Not 5 bricks.
X Games Gear. Find a retailer near you at xgamesgear.com.
Over 5 tons of towing capacity. 2,010 pounds of payload. It seems in thinking ahead, our engineers left nothing behind. Introducing the more comfortable, more powerful, more capable, all-new 2007 GMC Sierra. We examined everything and overlooked nothing, then backed it with the GM 100,000-mile warranty. That's professional grade.
Hello. Yeah, this head ball coach. He ran a what? Hey, I told you he could really go. Yeah, click-clack.
Smacks and a lift off.
Click, clack.
In downtown Salt Lake City, home of the EnergySolutions Arena, and the Utah Jazz, who are down 5 to the Rockets. And for our Wendy's inside the game, we go inside the paint to Yao Ming.
Well, you take a look at Yao early, and this is interesting here. Look at the recognition, saying, look, Carlos Boozer, for once, I don't have a 7-footer on me. Great job establishing post position, just can't quite finish. This is the deep position we're talking about. This is a 6-foot jump hook, not a 14-foot turnaround jumper, and finally catch it just off the paint. Turnaround jump shot over Mehmet Okur, because he knows he cannot contest that shot. Yao with a lot of touches early in this game right now, taking a blow, and hopefully Tracy McGrady and some of these other Rockets can keep up the scoring while he's on the bench.
Yao averaged a career high during the regular season, 25 points per game, as you see Boozer getting a breather. Yao, of course, missed 32 games with that right leg injury, but the Rockets were outstanding, won 20 games during his absence. McGrady, of course, the biggest reason why. But when Yao was out, the complementary players stepped up like they are so far tonight here in Game 4. Mutombo obviously was big when Yao was sidelined with that leg injury.
They really did, and the difference in the playoffs is that now the Utah Jazz have to focus on one opponent. So your defensive preparation is that much magnified, and you can take role players out of their comfort zones and really take them out of the series, which is what Utah has done up until tonight.
Loose ball foul is called on the Rockets. They're already in the penalty, and that is 2 personals now on T-Mac. So only 2 points for McGrady, and now 2 fouls. Coming up on ABC tomorrow, a doubleheader. First at Chicago and Miami, Game 4 with the Bulls leading 3-zip. Lakers and Suns at 3:30. And then on TNT Sunday, Toronto and New Jersey. Nets lead that series 2-1. And Dallas trying to even things up with Golden State at 2 apiece. NBA TV Monday, Cleveland looking to sweep Washington. I think a lot of people were surprised that both those ABC games tomorrow aren't 3-0. The way the Suns played in those first 2 games against the Lakers and the way they came out in Game 3 against LA.
Well, when you're facing a guy named Kobe Bryant, anything's possible. And he came out and really just put that team on his back and went for 45 points. And I think it's very important. Phoenix tries to go back up 3-1. They don't want to go back 2-2 with a guy with the killer instinct at the level of Kobe Bryant. He can win a series or win a game by himself in that building. So they're really going to come out focused, I think, in Game 4.
And can Kwame Brown match in Game 4 what he did in Game 3? Traveling is called on Luther Head. It was a delayed call by Bill Kennedy, but he made it. And It's hard to hear those whistles in this arena.
And you see what Jeff Van Gundy has to do with this lineup. When T-Mac goes out with 2, you'd want to give Yao the rest of the quarter to rest. He couldn't do that because they don't have a focal point offensively if both of those guys are on the bench. So he's got to get Yao back on the floor with a foul, despite the fact that he was tired.
He altered that shot by Millsap. Did not hit the rim. Timers at 5. Utah's missed 5 straight shots from the field. Giricek, who is big in game 3, ties it at 19.
Well, that's his shot. Giricek loves going left, 1 or 2 dribbles, pull-up jumper. At 6'7", he's got a lot of length. He knows he can get up. He gets off the floor pretty well. That time bailed the Jazz out late in the shot clock.
Yao almost overthrew John Lucas, who's getting his first minutes in this series. Timer at 3. And that's going to be a shot clock violation on Houston.
Well, that time you can just see John Lucas obviously feeling a little bit of jitters. The ball wasn't in his hands clean. He's playing at a pace that's much too fast when you're in the half-court set. He's got to slow down a little bit, take a breath, and do things under control and let the game come to him if he wants to contribute.
Handful of turnovers by Houston in the first quarter. Harpring just inside the foul line. An offensive rebound by Collins. That was a difference in game 3 for Utah. The complementary players like Collins and Millsap, Harpring and Giricek coming up big. Not the case for Houston. Been opposite so far in game 4. Giricek not there. An easy rebound for Yao. Tied at 19. Shot clock at 12. Game clock at 32 seconds here in the first quarter. Utah with a foul to give here inside of the 2-minute mark as Yao connects inside, and Yao with 8 points now, and Rockets back up 2.
Well, if he's going to get one-on-one coverage against Jaron Collins, someone's going to have to come as he gets into the paint, because with one dribble, despite the fact he caught it outside the paint, he's going to be turning around shooting over a guy much smaller. The Jazz have to make that adjustment.
Shot clock at 7. Fisher working on Lucas. Can't hit it off the window. Offensive rebound from Millsap, but Yao is there at the block. Out to head, and a foul is called with 0.5 of a second left. However, that's the first foul inside of 2 minutes, so it is a non-shooting foul.
Take a look here, and Gordon Giricek, I think the only reason they called that block was because both of his arms came up almost like a football blocking position.
And Fisher blocks Lucas's shot as the buzzer sounds. Well, a first quarter that's been similar to every other quarter in this series so far. Houston 21, Utah 19 after 1 here in game 4 of this best of 7. Rockets leading 2-1. Looking to go back to Houston up 3-1 to try to clinch on Monday.
Here's to the light beer that wins award after award, year after year. The original and still the greatest, Miller Lite. Good call.
Hey. What? We've been waiting here all day. So have I. No. I was here first. That's cardboard cutout. That don't count. You have to go in the back.
Introducing revolutionary performance headwear from New Era, Major League Baseball's official on-field cap.
No. It's okay. I'm the MVP. I get to go in first.
The extreme power of Energizer E-Squared Lithium, the world's longest-lasting AA battery and high-tech devices. Energizer, keep going.
I think this hot fudge shake combined with the Oreos is the #3 top invention in all of history.
What are the first 2?
Well, #1 is the doorbell, and #2 is still open. I mean, it's anybody's game.
It's not like the radio or the telephone like that.
Not that I know of. But this thing's cool. What's this?
It's a visor.
All right, #2.
Hot fudge shake made with Oreo cookies. New at Sonic. A favorite childhood cookie blended with hot fudge into a cool, creamy treat. Pay the Sonic way. Swipe your credit or My Sonic card from your car.
first ultra-adaptable room, only from Marriott.
There's been a scorcher sighting.
Scorcher. He's back.
It's a hot one.
Hey, Scorcher.
When you walk into the building, there's a sense of electricity that shoots in everybody's body.
The place is going nuts.
The players' athleticism, their skill.
Oh, what a shot.
They dive on the floor for loose balls.
The heart that she plays with.
Buzzer beaters.
For the win. Got it.
But the main thing I love about going to a WNBA game is having something my daughter Tia and I can really enjoy together. Right, Tia?
That's right.
The Utah Jazz care about the community. This season, Junior Jazz launched an initiative designed to recognize and reward kids, coaches, and parents for exemplary sportsmanship among the 60,000 youth participating in Junior Jazz in Utah, Wyoming, Arizona, Idaho, Montana, and Nevada. Over 1,100 kids were honored at a celebration at EnergySolutions Arena with Carlos Boozer and Andre Kirilenko. NBA Cares, continuing a tradition of basketball and service to the community. Back here in Salt Lake City for Game 4 of this best of 7. Utah down in the series 2-1, down 2 points as we start the second quarter, and down 1 player. Derek Fisher, who ran into Yao Ming in the first quarter, hurt his shoulder and has gone to the locker room for the time being. Millsap from Harpring, nicely done.
Yeah, Paul Millsap's done a great job for this team, really. In about 13 minutes a night in the postseason, has really come up big. He plays tough inside. He's got great hands and finishes well around the rim. That time, found himself all alone with the easy finish.
And we talked in the first half about some excellent second-round picks in this game as Yao Ming, a former first overall pick, gets his 10th point. But going back to the second-rounders, Paul Millsap, a former second-rounder. This year, 47th overall pick, having a fine rookie year. Had a pretty good Game 3.
Well, anything that you get out of rookies in the playoffs is a bonus. That's the way most coaches look at it, because you just don't know how guys are going to respond having not gone through it. I don't care if you have played in the Final Four or what program you played at collegiately. This is a different level. It's a different level of intensity, a different level of pressure that comes with it.
Millsap out of Louisiana Tech, only player in NCAA history to lead the nation in rebounding 3 straight years. Averaged 5 boards per game this year. Second among rookies behind Sheldon Williams.
And the Utah Jazz right now taking a page out of Houston's book offensively. If you're going to shoot poorly from the field, get to the foul line. Houston's taken 13 more free throw attempts a night in this series. So far, it's 13-2 Utah from the foul line.
And McGrady starting the second quarter on the bench, picked up 2 fouls in the first quarter. Luther Head picked up the foul on the last trip for the Rockets, his first. Back to Yao on the low block, out to Head for 3. He was 4th in the NBA in 3-point shooting during the regular season, but just 1 of 13 in this series from behind the arc. Collins, not much of a threat to score. Giracek is from out there. Spins out, though. And now a loose ball foul on Houston. So it's 2 quick team fouls on the Rockets.
Yeah, what great movement that time by Gordon Giracek. I mean, he ran Luther Head every which way but loose and finally freed himself up for an open look. And Houston not able to contain that rebound without the personal foul. So Utah's just, I think, been more aggressive so far on the glass, and it's gotten them extra possessions, and it's gotten them to the foul line as well.
First foul on Howard. Now the Houston bench in this series, just 5 of 34 from the field. And again, we saw Head missing last time down the court. Collins with the miss.
And when you tip higher at dinner than you shoot from the field, typically, that's a bad sign. I'm not a mathematician, Dave, but I have a feeling that things aren't going well when your bench is shooting those kind of numbers.
I haven't heard that one before. I like that, though. Howard used to make that shot earlier in his career all the time. Couldn't knock it down, and then a loose ball foul on Utah as Yao goes crashing to the floor. Well, Houston came into this series after a regular season in which they were 2nd from the bottom and scoring average out of their bench. And in that Game 3, they were 0 for 10 from the field.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, Jeff Van Gundy doesn't really look for a lot of scoring out of his bench, but where I think he's been a little bit frustrated, they've had pretty good looks because there's so much focus on Yao Ming and Tracy McGrady defensively. Jerry Sloan and Utah Jazz are basically daring guys to step up and make shots. And when you have pretty good looks, you've got to have an impact in the minutes that you're getting on the floor.
And Okur going to get called for a foul here for riding Yao's back. That's 2 on Okur and 2 on Utah in the quarter.
I love Yao Ming's aggressiveness early. I mean, he is really demanding the basketball. And this has been the biggest difference in the evolution of Yao Ming over the past 3 years, has been watching this guy go from a guy that just wants to be a nice complimentary player out there to a guy that leaves now the hotel or leaves his house to come to the arena.
He wants to dominate once he gets here, and I think that's been the biggest difference in the Houston Rockets having their best chances this year to extend deep into the playoffs.
Do you think Yao's the type of guy, because of his work ethic, that will be able to develop a 12 to 15-foot jump shot that's consistent at some point? As they get a basket inside with Harpring getting loose from Battier.
Well, I don't think there's any question. Yao Ming offensively, there are no limitations of what this guy can do. I think for what this team needs, Jeff Van Gundy likes to see him with his back to the basket at about 6 to 8 feet. Much more comfortable out there.
Now the international players have been huge so far in the playoffs, with obviously Yao and Steve Nash, Tim Duncan. Now it's interesting, Yao isn't even in the top 5. He's not even #1 on his own team in terms of the top-selling jerseys in the NBA in China. That belongs to Tracy McGrady, Kobe Bryant #1. And next year, we have Yao in the NBA. Next year, we're going to have Yi, one of the top players in China, expected to be a top 5 pick in the 2007 NBA draft. Millsap committed the foul. That's his first, 3rd on Utah. Battier, no. And Okur, another international player from Turkey, gets the rebound. Giracek, who's from Croatia, is also on the floor for Utah. Okur, a terrific three-point shooter during the regular season, but it's just not there in the playoffs.
Well, he didn't even catch that ball cleanly, and once you do that as a shooter, it's very difficult to then reload.
I don't care how much time you have. You know, shooting out to that distance is a rhythm thing, and that time Mehmet Okur was not in rhythm when he caught the basketball. When you're not in rhythm in general, the way you're playing, those shots become much more difficult.
Okur 0 for 3 from the field. Deron Williams with the basket. 16 points per game during the regular season. 6 points tonight. Utah back up 2. Game 4, Rockets lead this series 2 games to 1. Game 5 Monday in Houston. Howard on the drive, no. And then Howard is fouled. That's 4 team fouls already on the Jazz. That's going to go on Deron Williams, his first. 2-point game, second quarter here in Utah.
Separate yourself from the herd. The innovative Ridgeline from Honda.
You all right?
It's like having the first pick in the draft. It's a lot of pressure.
Get the granola. It's like picking a great defensive player like Brian Urlacher. It's smart, it's sensible. You'll never regret that. Dandy doodles. You took the flashy wide receiver with the attitude problem.
What makes them different makes them great. Mike and Mike in the morning.
It all comes down to this. The race to the Stanley Cup is underway on NHL Center Ice from DirecTV. See which teams rise. See which teams fall. Get up to 40 games a week, plus select Stanley Cup playoff games. For just $49, the season's best offer. Order now and get Cup crazy. Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS today. NHL Center Ice on DirecTV.
Backlash, live Sunday, April 29th on DirecTV pay-per-view.
With your Taco Bell update, I'm Mark Morgan. Earlier tonight, the Spurs won Game 3 of their series with the Nuggets. Tony Parker with a miss. Manu Ginobili keeps it alive. Tim Duncan scores. Timmy D had 20. Spurs win it 96-91. Also, the Pistons completed a sweep of Orlando. Chauncey Billups had 25. And the Cavs take a 3-zip lead over the Wizards. LeBron James with 30. Cleveland goes for the sweep on Monday. Now back to Dave Pasch and Tim Legler in Salt Lake City.
All right, mark it on ABC tomorrow. The Bulls go for the sweep of the Heat. Also in the East tomorrow at TNT, Toronto and New Jersey. And then Monday, Cleveland goes for the sweep of Washington, your former team.
Yeah, and I tell you, obviously Washington without Gilbert Arenas, Caron Butler, it's about what you would expect in that series. They're giving them all they have. They just don't have enough firepower to play with Cleveland. I'm a little bit disappointed in Toronto so far. I didn't think they really showed up in Game 3. I thought they were tight in Game 1. Now they find themselves down 2-1. They still have a great opportunity to get back to Toronto 2-2 if they could come out and Chris Bosh has a big game. But I was disappointed in their effort in Game 3 with all that's on the line and your ability now to have to win one game in New Jersey to get that home court back. They just didn't come out with the kind of effort you would expect.
Also tomorrow on ABC, Lakers-Suns Game 4 of that series. It's 2-1 in favor of Phoenix. Juwan Howard goes 1 for 2 at the foul line on that trip. And it's a 1-point lead for Utah. Boozer posting up on Mutombo. McGrady back into the game, playing with 2 personal fouls. Only has 2 points in the contest. Shot clock down to 7. And a foul called on Luther Head. That's 2 on Head. Derek Fisher back on the Utah bench has a mild sprained right shoulder and is expected to return.
Unfortunately, his right shoulder, not his shooting hand, obviously, which is going to be a factor later on. But Derek Fisher is one of the toughest guys you're going to find in this league. I have no doubt in my mind he will be back.
Shot clock down to 5. Boozer, nice pass to Kirilenko. That was Kirilenko's first attempt of the game. It's been a long series for him, averaging just over 1 point per contest.
Well, that's a shame right there. You feel bad for Kirilenko because when you're struggling, the first thing you'd love to do is get yourself a layup when you check into the game, and got a wide open bunny that time, but had an awkward finish at the rim and couldn't convert it.
Out of bounds off of Utah. Now Kirilenko in Game 1 struggled and was very emotional. And after the defeat, struggled again in Game 2. But Game 3, Jerry Sloan said came out and played very well. Was very aggressive.
Well, he's one of those players that can impact the game without scoring because he does so many things defensively. He moves the basketball, he runs in transition, occupies defenders, and his activity really, this crowd feeds off of that. So he can contribute even if he's not shooting well or playing well offensively, which he really hasn't in about 3 months.
Mutombo with the tip off the miss, and Houston goes back up 1. We also had an opportunity actually to talk with Kirilenko's wife, Masha, yesterday, and you'll hear that later in the program. Okur from outside, and that's huge for Utah. Much like they need Kirilenko to score, they need Okur. And that time he buries a 3.
But Dave, they really, really need that. He needs it, and they need it. And that time you saw it was a catch and shoot. There was no thought process.
And that's exactly what a shooter has to get into that state. Premeditate the ball coming to you so you can catch and release.
McGrady can't answer, but Mutombo is there, giving Jeff Van Gundy good minutes off the bench. Alston, no. Howard, tip, no. Houston, which was getting killed on the offensive glass the first 15 or 16 minutes, finally coming alive. That time couldn't tip it in, though. Williams for 2.
Deron Williams that time reading that Rafer Alston decided to go under the pick on the pick and roll. That's how you want to play Deron Williams when he's out at the 3-point line coming off pick and roll. That time he was in the 18-foot range. Rafer Alston has to fight over the top of that pick and take that jump shot away because that's Deron Williams' sweet spot, that 18-foot jumper.
Kirilenko called for the foul. That's his second. 5 team fouls. Both.
See what we're talking about that time. When you're inside the 3-point range by about 3 feet, you can't go under that pick. Deron Williams is a very proficient shooter from that range. You can go under out to the 3-point line, but in that situation, you want your big man to give Rafer Alston a chance to fight over. And Deron Williams, who hasn't really played as well offensively in this series as he did in the regular season, is having a good start tonight.
McGrady missed the first free throw. He's just 1 of 6 from the field, 2 points. Never won a playoff series. Only player not to win a playoff series to have won an NBA scoring title. In fact, In the playoffs, McGrady is third all-time at points per game. Jordan #1. McGrady at 30 points per contest, lifetime of the playoffs, but hasn't had a lot of help on those teams he's been on.
Well, to be fair, I don't know that Tracy McGrady's been on a team until this year that was expected to win any of those series. This is the best team Tracy McGrady's been on, so there's no question you're going to have to answer those questions of your T-Mac if you can't escape this year with a dominant center and a supporting cast like this.
3, 2, 1. The clock winds down. 5, 3, 2,
1 second left.
3, 2, 1. Crowd goes wild.
3, 2, 1. Hey, Dad. Hey, Mom. SpongeBob's at Burger King. Can we go?
As soon as your dad's done.
Hey, honey. Guess who I am? Come. Who am I? SpongeBob, no pants.
Wow.
And I live under the sea, honey, in a pineapple. SpongeBob, no pants.
SpongeBob fever is spreading. Grab some tasty chicken fries and toys, only at BK.
Oh. Ah, you're no rich prince.
Sorry. Rich Prince rewards begin at 2 kisses. To qualify, eligible. Additionally, the magic spell reserves the right to lock out the primary kiss giver from any and all. Kisses expire 6 seconds from date of pucker. All kisses are non-transferable.
Is this how your Cash Rewards card treats you? Introducing no-hassle Cash Rewards. Earn cash on every purchase everywhere, plus a 25% annual bonus.
Yeah, okay.
But you're just 1 kiss away. What's in your wallet?
NBA Cares. This season, NBA players including Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant, Jason Capono, and Tracy McGrady helped thousands of young people develop a lifelong love of reading by creating 24 reading and learning centers. It's all part of the NBA's commitment to create places where kids and families can live, learn, or play. NBA Cares, combining basketball and service to the community.
This is a SportsCenter 30 at 30 update. I'm Mark Morgan. The Oakland Raiders selected LSU quarterback Jamarcus Russell #1 overall in the NFL draft. Notre Dame quarterback Brady Quinn fell to #22. He was chosen by the Browns. In NBA playoff action, the Pistons completed a 4-game sweep of Orlando behind Chauncey Billups' 25 points. Detroit wins it 97-93. Elsewhere, the Cavs took a 3-zip lead over the Wizards. We'll get to that in a moment. The Spurs beat the Nuggets 96-91 to grab a 2-0 lead in that series. Let's now go back to Salt Lake City.
All right, Mark, so 2-1 San Antonio leads Game 4 Monday on TNT. Tomorrow on ABC, Phoenix looks to go up 3-1 on the Lakers. And on ESPN tomorrow, continuing coverage of the NFL Draft. Tim Legler will be eyes on the TV because that's when his team, the Washington Redskins, have all their picks.
Well, my goodness. How do you have a pick at 6 and you don't pick again until the 5th round? Well, that's Dan Snyder. He's willing to mortgage things every year, trying to trade picks to do what he can to win right now. Unfortunately, they just haven't had any quarterbacking in the last few years.
They drafted LaRon Landry, safety out of LSU. 4 LSU players going in the first round of the 2007 NFL Draft. Howard lost it out of bounds. And again, Derek Fisher still on the bench for Utah. A mild sprained right shoulder is expected to return, though. Houston just 1 of 9 from behind the arc. Boozer just 2 of 8 from the field overall. He struggled, but Williams has been great. 4 of 4, and Okur hit a 3 earlier. Can't get that one, though. And Mutombo with a rebound.
Another good look for Okur. That time coming up to the top of the key, squared up nicely, just a little bit short.
And T-Mac with his second field goal of the night. And McGrady's got 5. The Rockets back within a point.
And only his second jump shot of the night. He really hasn't been involved out on the perimeter. He's posted up a couple times and gotten to the rim in transition. But I want to see him operate that mid-range game a little bit more, particularly against Kirilenko.
Boozer raising over Mutombo. 3rd made shot from the field for Carlos Boozer. 6 points. 3-point Utah lead, 4.5 to go. Yao will come in at the next dead ball. McGrady, what a move on Kirilenko, and the finish with the left hand.
Yeah, he caught that ball in perfect position that time, 15 feet, so he could get to the rim in 1 dribble.
And then Kirilenko fouled by Juwan Howard. And Yao back into the contest for Mutombo. That's 2 personals now on Howard. You see the numbers for Yao so far in the game.
That's the kind of rest you want to get Yao Ming right there. So now he can finish off this second quarter, and the Rockets could try to prevent the Jazz from going on a run here late in this half in their building, which is what a home team always wants to do, to take all that momentum into the locker room with them. Andre Kirilenko knocking down a foul shot. It's the best news the Jazz have had in a while. When a guy's really struggling with his confidence, you know, you want to see him get to the line, get something to fall, so you can now get a little bit of confidence back offensively.
Career low 8 points per game this season for Kirilenko. He was an all-star in 2004, signed that big deal, and was averaging 15 points per game over the last 3 years, but struggled this year, and as we mentioned earlier, got very emotional after the Game 1 defeat. We'll talk more about that later. Yao too easy inside as he catches it deep.
And Utah that time goes into a rare 2-3 zone. They almost never play it, and they blew an assignment on the baseline. Believe it or not, lost track of Yao Ming, made a great flash cut across the lane, got Jaron Collins on his back, and that's an easy bucket.
Yao 5 of 7 now from the floor. Williams still perfect, 5 out of 5 from the field for Utah, which is back up 3.
Yeah, this guy had a phenomenal year, really. I think right up there with the most improved player in this league. Goes from being, a solid starter to an all-star caliber point guard overnight, and Jazz trying to get out in transition.
Harpring fouled by Alston. That's 2 on Rafer Alston, and both teams in the penalty the rest of the way. Matt Harpring, who, the Harpring family feels a little bit for Brady Quinn, who dropped all the way to Cleveland at the end of the first round today. Harpring, a quarterback at high school. His uncle played at Notre Dame. Dad played at Michigan. Grandfather played at Army. I think everybody fell for Brady Quinn today, watching him fall, and then Cleveland trading back into the first round to get him at 22.
And I will say this, having guarded Matt Harpring and played against Matt Harpring, he took that NFL tradition to the NBA, because that's exactly the way that Matt Harpring plays on the floor. And this guy really puts a body on you. He's strong as an ox. I think Jeff Van Gundy called him the most physical player offensively in the entire NBA, and I don't think many guys that have to guard him would disagree with that.
I think you take Harpring and Millsap, you've got 2 pretty good outside linebackers and a 3-4.
No doubt.
Here's McGrady, 3 of 8 from the field, now 3 of 9, and Boozer with the rebound. Utah by 5. Williams always looking to push the tempo, finds Harpring, and he's able to hit it from the corner. That's a 2 for Harpring, largest lead tonight for Utah. And a timeout called by the Rockets. Jazz by 7.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Lenovo. Play the NBA Lenovo Stat Challenge powered by Windows Vista. Enter at ESPN.com, keyword Lenovo.
We just got a new car. Good time to look at new car insurance, and we went with Progressive, saving like $400 a year. But what really impressed me was they actually gave me the rates the other big companies. Was not expecting that. I mean, that kind of honesty is... Oh, did you have anything to do with this?
No.
Right.
Get our rates plus competitors at Progressive.com. Honest. Progressive. Saving hundreds is just the beginning.
In the chilly hours and minutes of uncertainty, I want to be. But I may as well try and catch the wind.
Capturing the wind and putting it to good use. Wind energy from GE. Some of the cleanest renewable energy on Earth.
Vaughn in
into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside.
It was a perfect strike, and you know it. Of course, if this chump were watching in DirecTV HD, he'd have made the right call. It's broadcast in 1080i, which means it's cool. Now, let's see how this bruise looks in HD.
Vaughn into his motion and the pitch. Uh-oh.
For the most sports in HD, you gotta get DirecTV.
Back in Salt Lake City, a very physical Game 4. Derek Fisher already hurt his shoulder. He's due to return, but we talked to him earlier today about the physical nature of this series.
Both teams take a lot of pride in half-court execution, setting screens, putting bodies on people. And whenever you have that type of situation, you're not going to have a lot of high-percentage shooting, a lot of guys, flowing through the lane, laying it up, dunking. It's going to be physical, and that's what it's been. The Rockets have been able to get to the free throw line, obviously much more than us. But I think we've been able to hold our own in terms of being physical, and hopefully we can come back tonight and do the same thing, playing really hard on both ends.
A mild sprained right shoulder for Fisher, who is due to come back, though, for the Jazz. Outscoring the bench of Houston 15-5. With the Harpring out there in place of Fisher. Boozer trying to get to the loose ball, and that hit Eddie Rush. It was out of bounds, so it will go to Houston.
But that time, yeah, really off balance as he turned around. I think he was expecting more contact as he spun into the lane. Ended up with a fadeaway jump shot, but Chuck Hayes with great hustle. Even though he doesn't secure the ball, he gets the Rockets an extra possession with his hustle, forcing Carlos Boozer to knock it out of bounds.
We talked earlier today, Tim, about the fact that this series is different from the other 7. There's so much physical play in this series compared to the other ones.
When you watch any of the other series and you look at teams and what they're trying to do offensively, there's freedom of movement. Guys can cut from one side of the floor to the other. You see guys get uninhibited as they go to get offensive rebounds. That's not the case in this series. They're always body on body all over the floor, and that's why it's so much different. And that's why you see these teams struggling to shoot. And some people might look at that and say that's bad offense. I don't look at it that way. I think it's just great defense, and it's playoff intensity. And these two teams epitomize. I knew this was going to be the most physical, most difficult matchup in the first round, and it's playing out that way.
Well, Utah was an excellent shooting team in the regular season. They were second in the NBA in field goal percentage, but Houston #1 in field goal defense. Utah in this series shooting only 40%, 40% tonight, by the way. Houston at 43% tonight, 36% through the first 3 games of the series. Boozer now 3 of 10 from the field. And a foul is going to be called on Houston.
And it's Matt Harpring getting in there and just moving bodies and doing everything he can to go after that ball on the glass. And we've talked about the struggles of Kirilenko offensively as a starter. Matt Harpring has more than made up for that by coming off the bench and providing the kind of energy that we used to see out of Andre Kirilenko. So the way Jerry Sloan looks at it, it's a trade-off right now. Harpring has come up big, not just in this series, but throughout the last 6 weeks of the regular season.
Battier committed the foul his first. Both teams in the penalty. Want to know what the coaches and players had to say about tonight's game? You can go to NBA.com immediately following the game for the press conferences and video highlights of the Rockets and Jazz exclusively on NBA.com. 8 points now for Matt Harpring. Utah's attempted 10 more foul shots than Houston has here in Game 4. Rockets lead this series 2-1. Game 5 Monday in Houston. Alston with the spin. And able to get it to drop on the second opportunity.
Well, you got to love the aggressiveness of Rafer Alston tonight. I think hitting a jump shot early really unleashed this guy tonight now. And he's given them that third scoring option that they've been looking for in this series.
He set the Rocket record for threes during the regular season. Broke Vernon Maxwell's mark. Boozer with an easy 2.
It's a great find by Derek Fisher that time. It's actually pretty good defense on Houston's part. Chuck Hayes got a hand on that basketball. Derek Fisher able to pick up the loose ball and hit Carlos Boozer at the rim.
3 assists now for Fisher, trying to cover Tracy McGrady on the other end. McGrady just 3 of 9 from the field. Can't bank that one in, but will go to the line for 2.
You see that last play on Houston defensively. It's good effort on the baseline. It's just a loose ball, and Derek Fisher with the great drop off with the left hand. Carlos Boozer finally able to get a shot off without a 7'5" hand or a 7'1" hand into Kemi Mutombo there to block him, and he's got to love get that feeling. A dunk at the rim, an easy one in the series, this contested.
Boozer commits the second personal. 10 points now for McGrady, 8 in the second quarter. And Boozer will go to the bench with 2 fouls, 4 of 11 from the floor, 8 points for Carlos Boozer.
Very important minute 30 right here for the Houston Rockets, because the Utah Jazz, throughout the last 18, 20 years, going back to Stockton alone, they love to put on a run at the end of the half and spread that lead out from 6-7 up to 12-13. They've done it many times in this building. Houston has to be careful of that right now. You don't want this game to get away from you right here.
Harpring caught off the hip of Battier. Harpring thought he was fouled. His last touch, though, by Houston.
Well, he does what all shooters do. When you miss a shot that badly, you look at your hand, you say you got fouled. I did it my entire career.
Harpring with 8 points in 13 minutes on the court. And again, a lot of those minutes he normally gets, but maybe more minutes in the first half because of the injury to Fisher, who's back on the floor right now and is in the right place as the ball drops into his hands under the hoop.
Well, Derek Fisher must have magnets on his hands. That's 2 deflections by the Houston Rockets on consecutive possessions. Ball ends up with Derek Fisher. One time for an easy pass to Boozer. That time he finishes it himself.
McGrady calling for it, and that's why. Scoring over the much smaller Fisher. And Jaron Collins with a little bit of a swat to Yao as they were both down on the floor. Both players back up and coming into your picture now. They got tangled up, and Collins just kind of shoved Yao aside to no avail, though. That's tough to do. Williams off the Collins screen. Didn't hit that shot. That's his first miss of the game. Battier goes down. McGrady to Battier. Oh, what a pass by McGrady to Chuck Hayes.
Great dish by T-Mac. I thought he was going to go to the fadeaway jump shot that time. It's a great pass and an equally great catch and finish by Chuck Hayes around the rim. Not a guy you're really counting on for a lot of offense in the paint.
People don't talk about McGrady's ability as a passer, but he averaged close to 7 assists per game during the regular season. About a 3-second difference between the game and shot clocks. 5 to go on the timer for Williams. Working on Alston. Gets past Ming and scores. Great move by Deron Williams, who's got 12 and a half. 2 seconds to go. Hayes will get it away from 3. And the second quarter comes to an end. Coming up with a half. San Antonio going up 2-1 on Denver. Take a look at what's going on in the East and also an update on the NFL draft. 50-45, Utah leading Houston at halftime. Stay tuned. Mark Morgan and Alan Houston coming up for the Toyota halftime show. 5-point lead for Utah, trying to even this best of 7 at 2 games apiece.
Love this 7-layer dip.
You guys brought dip?
No, 7-layer crunch wrap. 7-layer dip, but easy to eat anywhere.
It's good to go. Good to go.
Good to go, McGrady.
Yeah!
Who's next?
Taco Bell's new 7-layer crunch wrap. Hearty beans and warm nacho cheese sauce layered with cool sour cream and guacamole. Wrapped up and good to go. To get the great taste of 7-layer dip, think outside the bun.
Hello?
Melissa, it's Josh from last night.
Oh, yeah, hey.
Listen, I know there's that 2-day rule about calling or whatever, and this might sound totally dumb, but did you feel like there was a real connection between us? I mean, you know, like a brother-sister connection? Nothing creepy. I mean, like, you know, I would never make out with my sister.
Singular is now the new AT&T. Your world delivered. And get Mom a red pearl for Mother's Day.
With an exhilarating 258 horsepower VTEC engine, an intelligent performance-minded cockpit, double wishbone suspension, and true surround sound. All you need to do is get in. The TL from Acura.
Take advantage of attractive financing on select Acura models for well-qualified customers.
1,900 hours of practice film.
Quick and he's fast, so don't take him lightly.
2,375 miles run.
Don't have to be fast. Just be perfect.
85 million pounds of weight.
Come on, pop it. Throw it up. That's it. That's strong.
13,260 hours on the trainer's table.
That's how you get ready for the playoffs. Thanks, sir.
One champion. The NBA playoffs.
I'm about to put Tabasco sauce in my eyes. We are filming a pseudo-porn.
Oh, there it is. Oh.
Rad Girls, a new series on Fuse. Being bad never looked so good. Check out the insane stunts and crazy antics every Tuesday at 10, followed by The Whitest Kids You Know, only on Fuse, channel 339.
Grab the beer that starts out cold and ends up refreshing. Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Welcome to the Toyota Halftime Show.
Yao Ming of the Houston Rockets getting the ball down low and scoring 2 of his 12 first-half points. But the Jazz outscore the Rockets 31-24 in the second period to grab a 5-point halftime lead. Hey, everybody. Welcome to our ESPN studios. I'm Mark Morgan alongside Alan Houston. We're first going to talk about the opening half between the Rockets and the Jazz. And Deron Williams, Alan, 5 of 6 from the field for 10 points. He also dished out 4 assists. Why was he so effective in the first half?
Well, you know that Jerry Sloan and the Utah Jazz like to have an offense that executes extremely well, and it starts with the point guard. And what Deron Williams does is he is that point guard. He's a quarterback. All his teammates are confident in him. And you look right here, how many point guards can post up and shoot a turnaround jump shot? He's very decisive, and for his size, he has the quickness, and that's really what makes him tough, too. He makes his mind up what he's going to do, and he usually makes good decisions. Right here, he comes off of a pick and roll, off of Mehmet Okur, and he nails the jump shot. One thing I love about Deron Williams is he makes his mind up. He doesn't mind taking big shots, which he's very good at, and his teammates trust him. You have to have a guy like that who makes good decisions, who's not afraid to take control, and that's what he does.
And one quick update. This didn't happen while we were talking, but originally Williams was 6 of 7 from the field. Alan, he has 12 points to lead the Jazz. Let's keep it out west now. Spurs and Nuggets. Game 3 in Denver. Marcus Camby receives his Defensive Player of the Year award from the commissioner prior to the game, and here we go. Allen Iverson drains it third quarter. AI 7 of 20 from the field, though. He finished with 20 points. Under 2 minutes left in the third. Spurs up by 2. Robert Horry gets the steal and then gets it back and buries the huge 3.
Those are the shots. Those are the big shots that he makes and plays that they make in order to make them so tough.
Tony Parker with a miss. Manu Ginobili keeps it alive. Timmy D gets the layup. Duncan, 20 points and 13 boards. The Spurs, 9 of 21 from beyond the arc. Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker combined for 60 points. The Nuggets reserves were outscored by the Spurs bench 33-12. Following the contest, Jim Gray spoke with Tim Duncan.
20 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 blocked shots tonight for Tim Duncan. Timmy, how have you guys managed to control the tempo of these games and keep the scores way down?
You know, it's a big key for them, knowing that they're one of the best transition teams in the league. That ball goes up, we make or miss a shot. We've got 2 and 3 guys back already. We made that a big point coming in here.
Once they got their little run at the end of the third quarter, you know, they had the momentum, and it was just tough for us to come back. And then, you know, every time we got it down to 5 points, you know, they scored again. So we just couldn't stop them when we needed to.
Coming up, no surprise at the very top of the NFL draft today, but a mild surprise a little farther down. We'll explain it all. We're coming right back. Stick around.
The Toyota Halftime Show is brought to you by Toyota, moving forward.
Truck guys told us what matters in a half-ton is guts. So we gave this truck a big rear axle, a stronger frame, and the biggest honking bed. All to help it handle payloads of 2,000 pounds. Which answers the age-old question of how to put a ton of whatever in a half-ton bag. Available on the all-new full-size Tundra. The truck that's changing it all.
The road of tomorrow is being created today. From tires that help make your car more fuel efficient and safer, to earth-friendly production and recycling methods, Michelin is striving to help you find a better way forward. Michelin, a better way forward.
Hey. What? We've been waiting here all day.
So have I.
No.
I was here first.
That's cardboard cutout. That don't count.
You have to go in the back.
Introducing revolutionary performance headwear from New Era, Major League Baseball's official on-field cap.
No. It's okay. I'm the MVP. I get to go in first.
Nothing brings out the kid in you like the scrumptious combination of milk chocolate and Airy Krispies. Nestle Crunch, for the kid in you.
They fire the coals with precision, mixing sauces, marinades, and rubs in secrecy. They are barbecue fanatics in search of perfect taste. But perhaps starting with better pork is the real secret. Cargill worked with customers to create more marbled cuts of pork. With special feeds and selection techniques, we achieved the tenderness people craved and a taste as classic as those who cook it. This is how Cargill works with customers.
Welcome back to the Toyota Halftime Show.
Amid reports that manager Joe Torre could be in trouble, the Yankees snapped their 7-game losing streak with a 3-1 win over the Red Sox. Barry Bonds has gone deep, career number 742 Bonds, only 13 more home runs, and he ties Hank Aaron. In today's NFL draft, LSU quarterback Jamarcus Russell is taken #1 overall by the Oakland Raiders. Notre Dame quarterback Brady Quinn drops all the way to number 22, where he is chosen by the Cleveland Browns. Your top 5, Russell, followed by Calvin Johnson, Joe Thomas, Gaines Adams, and Levi Brown. Now it's time for our Toyota Moving Forward.
ABC Sunday, the NBA playoffs continue at 12:30. First, the defending champion Miami Heat look to avoid being eliminated at home, trailing 3 games to none against the Bulls. Then at 3:30, Kobe Bryant's Lakers look to even the series against Steve Nash and the Phoenix Suns. All on ABC, home of the NBA Finals.
And that was our Toyota Moving Forward. Back to the court we go. The Pistons looking to close out the Magic in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. Pick this one up, third quarter. Pistons leading by 3. Tayshaun Prince and the foul.
Makes them so effective. The Detroit Pistons are excellent when they're running, and they play defense as well.
Under 2 minutes left. Rip Hamilton, very nice. Pistons making all the shots when it matters most. Hamilton again, hand in his face, doesn't matter. The Pistons are 12-1 in closeout games since the 02-03 season. The Cavaliers looking to go up 3-zip on the Wizards. LeBron James feeling good prior to the game and looking pretty good during the game. Cavs down 3. First quarter, it's a fast break. LeBron to Sasha Pavlovich. Back to LeBron.
Knew something special was going to happen right there.
Antoine Jamison, pretty good effort from him. He had 38. Here are 3 of those. That cut the lead to 4. Cavs up 3, fourth quarter. LeBron, nice pass inside to Drew Gooden.
It's a great look. It makes him so tough. He has great vision.
Down the stretch, LeBron, nice pass to Pavlovich for 3. LeBron's 30, led 5 Cavs in double figures. At the half, the Jazz lead the Rockets 50-45. Deron Williams leads Utah with 12. We'll take you back to Salt Lake City after this quick break. You are watching the NBA playoffs on ESPN.
The Toyota Halftime Show is brought to you by Toyota, moving forward. Now it's time for the McDonald's I'm Loving It highlights.
Something's got me started.
That was today's McDonald's I'm Loving It highlights.
Back in Salt Lake City, the Utah Jazz have never come back from an 0-2 series deficit to win, but they're 1/2 away from evening the series at 2 games apiece, leading by 5 as we get ready for the third quarter. With Tim Legler, I'm Dave Pasch. Yao Ming, right off the bat, was able to get position and get the ball down low, and Houston was very effective doing that in the first quarter.
Well, with the supporting cast struggling the way that they are, Dave, they wanted to come out early and establish this guy down low as the focal point of everything they're going to do offensively, and early on, it certainly was effective. When he catches the ball this deep, forget about it. That's a 6-foot jump hook. There's nothing Mehmet Okur can do. And then great ball movement on the perimeter. Here, working against the zone. Collins gets there late, and Yao Ming, an easy target under the rim for the finish, 5 for 8 in the first half. And you see what we're talking about. When he catches the ball outside the paint, he's not as effective offensively. When he's down in the paint and dominating along the baseline area, now extra defenders come. That frees up your perimeter players.
Meanwhile, Deron Williams, 6 of 7 from the field, 12 points for the Jazz.
Yeah, he struggled offensively up to this point in the series tonight. Really got it going, using that big body down in the post on Rafer Alston. And then this is really the sweet part of his game. He loves coming off pick and roll, shooting the pull-up jumper, and they're attacking late, knowing Yao Ming doesn't want to get a foul right before the half. Deron Williams did a great job offensively carrying the Jazz along with Carlos Boozer in the first half.
4 assists for Williams, only 1 turnover. Boozer had 8 points on 4 of 11 shooting. McGrady was 4 of 10 at 13 points. So McGrady and Ming combined for 25, and 6 other players combined for 20. So twice as many guys have scored tonight for Houston than they did in Game 3, when only 4 scored, an NBA playoff record.
And Rafer Alston, you got to give this guy a lot of credit. Came out with 9 first-half points and looked like extremely confident. And that really takes so much pressure off T-Mac and Yao to have to make every play for everyone else offensively.
Okur with a good start to the third quarter. 8 points for Okur, who coming into this game shooting 17% in the series.
That's one thing I've wondered about the Utah Jazz and Jerry Sloan. This guy should put his back to the basket a little bit more when you're struggling offensively. The catch and shoot opportunities really haven't been there. That time got his back to the basket with a nice turnaround jump shot. Gets himself going.
Battier wide open, missed the 3. Shane Battier shot 42% from 3 during the regular season, but struggled from the field in the playoffs and missed a wide open 3. And then Williams with a rare miss, only his 2nd missed field goal of the game. 2-1 series lead. Houston taking games 1 and 2 at home on the strength of excellent third quarters, and that was what Utah did in Game 3 to win and get the series to 2-1. Fisher missing the layup. Boozer, and now Utah with its largest lead, 9 points.
Great defense by Deron Williams. Got in there with the strip on Chuck Hayes, and then Derek Fisher unable to finish. Maybe that right shoulder bothering him. Could not get it above his head to finish the play. But the Utah Jazz do what they do so well, clean up the offensive glass.
10 points, 6 rebounds now for Carlos Boozer, who's had double-doubles in all 3 previous games in this series. Yao way off with that shot. Okur pumping the fist, knowing that he played good defense. We talked about the fact that Houston won the third quarters in games 1 and 2, but it was Utah in game 3.
Well, a lot of energy takes place when you come out of the locker room. You want to see which team's going to have it. It's a 15-minute break. Some teams come out flat. Some teams come out with energy. In this series, the team that's had the most energy at the start of the half has gone on to win the game.
Boozer missing, McGrady with the rebound. Game 5 in this series Monday in Houston. If necessary, game 6 would be back here next Thursday. Houston trying to get its first playoff series win since 1997. Houston hasn't won one since 2000. Yao with a miss inside. And we showed you that shot chart. All of his misses coming from outside the lane, but missed the bunny that time down the floor. Williams over Alston. 14 points now for Williams, and a timeout by Jeff Van Gundy.
Introducing the all-new Jeep Patriot, available trail-rated with 172 horsepower and 30 miles per gallon, starting at $14,985. Choose your adventure at patriotadventure.com.
Hey.
What?
We've been waiting here all day.
So have I.
No.
I was here first.
That's cardboard cutout. That don't count.
You have to go in the back.
Introducing revolutionary performance headwear from New Era, Major League Baseball's official on-field cap.
No. It's okay. I'm the MVP. I get to go in first.
We're all over it. Not to worry. Yes, the team is with me. We got it covered.
Who's he talking to?
The boss.
I thought the boss was at a board meeting.
He is at a board meeting.
Uh-oh.
They're asking about our global integration plan.
Do not worry.
Do we have a global integration plan?
It's more like a deck.
A deck?
A draft, really.
A deck is only a draft?
Afraid so.
It's not only doable, it's practically done. We better get started.
I don't want to smell your body spray from here. Not here. Not even here. I want to smell you from right here.
New RGX body spray from Right Guard. Crisp, clean scents that don't overpower.
Are you ready to step up?
Introducing the all-new Jeep Patriot, available trail-rated with 172 horsepower and 30 miles per gallon, starting at $14,985. Choose your adventure at patriotadventure.com.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any other form without the express written consent of the NBA.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Jeep. With 7 Jeep vehicles, there's one for you.
Back here in Salt Lake City, where the Jazz have an 11-point lead, their largest lead of the game here in Game 4. Take a look at our Nestle stat track. Houston just 1 of 11 from 3. They're in the top 5 in three-point shooting during the regular season. Both teams better than 40% from the field overall. And the Utah bench dominating again here in Game 4 like it did in Game 3.
And this is a time right now, Dave, Tracy McGrady has to take over the game for the Houston Rockets and be more aggressive, looking for his shot. That time it gets rejected, but he's got to continue to be aggressive.
Derek Fisher has had a couple of blocks, including one at the end of the first half. Foul on the other end as Van Gundy and McGrady have a conversation. Tracy McGrady, 4 of 11 so far.
You know, one of the problems he has is there's so many defenders focused on him everywhere he goes on the floor. That time Andre Kirilenko basically just left his man to come over and help because Derek Fisher got hit on the pick, and that split second of hesitation when Tracy McGrady goes up and Kirilenko takes his opportunity away, allowed Derek Fisher to recover and make the block. And in Utah, you love to see them get out in transition because that's when this building gets energized. And when you play against a team as good defensively as Houston, you want easy opportunities. And Utah's trying to do that so far early here in the third quarter.
3 fouls now on Alston. 8-0 run for Utah to open the quarter. Houston 0 for 5 from the field in the period. Deron Williams with 16 points now tonight as Yao connects from the corner.
Great offense that time. You start Yao Ming on the left block, reverse the basketball around to the right, and you bring him from block to block. When this guy moves at 7'5" with his weight, very difficult to stop this guy from getting position. That time it's an easy turnaround jump shot.
And Kirilenko turns it over, throwing it right to Hayes. Utah's done a better job of forcing Yao outside the paint when he catches. That time, though, he got it deep and scores easily over Okur.
Yeah, he came straight down the center of the floor, worked his back on Mehmet Okur, and backed him under the rim. And the Utah Jazz help defense didn't sink in the way that it normally does, and he's such an easy target.
Williams way off of that shot. Good D by Alston. Alston wide open on the other end. Now unable to knock down the triple, and then Boozer and Hayes are entangled, and a foul is called on Hayes, his third, and that's the second team foul on Houston in the period.
That's all you can ask for. You get a wide open look. Rafer Alston has played well tonight. Left corner off transition. That's exactly the kind of shot you're looking for.
Set the Rocket record for made threes during the regular season. Here's Okur, guarded by Hayes. Okur getting good position.
I just don't understand why this guy hasn't been down there more in this series. He's a big body. He's got a nice touch, and he's creative down there. Don't just force him to stand outside and shoot jumpers when his confidence is down. He's got 2 buckets in this quarter down around the rim.
He set Jazz records for threes attempted and made during the regular season. Comes up with a nice defensive play on Yao. Williams on the other end, scored with the left hand, and the Houston foul.
Great upper body strength by Deron Williams. The guy's built really like a strong safety, talking about the NFL draft, and this guy able to get to the rim and finish with that left hand. First starts with the defense with Okur. We've talked about it all series. His ability to play Yao one-on-one down there. And then Utah forcing the tempo, getting out in the open floor, enabled Deron Williams to get to the rim. And another big finish that time for Utah to extend that lead out to 14. Houston right now in desperate need of a couple of buckets to stop this run.
19 points for Deron Williams. His first playoff series, Houston's first since the end of the Malone-Stockton era back in 2003. And obviously the Jazz for many years have been trying to draft players to be the heir apparent to those two guys. And Deron Williams, the point guard of today and the future for Utah, which has a 14-point lead in Game 4.
Okay, this means war.
I can't wait to see the look on their faces.
It's so easy.
I know. Like taking candy from a baby.
Introducing the all-new Patriot, starting at $14,985. Choose your adventure at patriotadventure.com.
Utah coming off its first playoff win since April 26 of 2003 at the tail end of the Stockton-Malone era here in Salt Lake City. That was their last year in the postseason. And the Jazz back behind Deron Williams, second-year pro out of Illinois, drafted to be maybe not the next John Stockton, but certainly the next star point guard here in Utah. Yao getting position down low and scoring again. He's got 18 points.
Nice pick and roll that time. Yao did a great job. Got to the rim quickly. Usually Yao Ming, when you run pick and roll out of the perimeter, sometimes it takes him a while to get down to the rim. That time, one step, he was in the paint. G-Mac again with a great pass.
Battier kicks it. Shot clock will stay at 14.
Not often you say that the problem with the Houston Rockets is that they're not getting stops or something going on the defensive end of the floor. Typically, it's offensively where they struggle, but they have not gotten stops in this third quarter, and Utah's in a great rhythm right now offensively, and it just continues. Mehmet Okur gets a couple inside buckets. Suddenly, that basket seems a lot bigger when you're a perimeter shooter.
And where is Tracy McGrady for the Houston Rockets? Just 4 of 11 from the field. Missed the shot that time. Yao there. Okur with the block on Yao. Yao with good hustle, though, to keep the possession going for the Rockets. the double. McGrady cutting. Good defense by the Jazz. Numbers for Utah. Okur, foot on the line, can't hit the two. Alston with the deep rebound. McGrady sizing up a three, buried it with Fisher having a hand in his shirt.
It's a big shot right there, Tracy McGrady. I felt tonight he's been a little hesitant to pull the trigger on his three-point shooting. One of Jerry Sloan's biggest fears is that T-Mac with his length can rise up beyond the defense anytime he wants to, but he hasn't really gotten into that range tonight.
Boozer hadn't touched it a whole lot in this quarter. Beautiful move by there on Yao Ming.
A great footwork in the low post by Carlos Boozer. This is why coming out, this guy was a second-round pick. I couldn't understand that, and that's precisely why right there. Tremendous strength and footwork around the basket.
Drafted by the Cavaliers in 2002. This is his first postseason. Third year with the Jazz. Rockets lost it out of bounds.
I mean, look at the footwork down low right here. Yao Ming, there's no way at his size he's going to be able to keep up with this. That is Kevin McHale-like in the low post for Carlos Boozer. That's why this guy's an all-star.
Was unable to play in the All-Star game this year because of injury. 53 double-doubles. That was third in the NBA. Boozer too strong with that shot. He's 2 rebounds shy of his 4th double-double in 4 playoff games in this series. Rockets lead this best-of-7, 2 games to 1. And a foul on Fisher. It's only the first team foul in the quarter and the first personal on Derek Fisher.
And you see now Dikembe Mutombo's got to come in this game. The pace of this game is a little too much for Yao Ming right now to play extended minutes when you're going up and down the floor at this pace. He's going to come out right now and get a blow. Dikembe comes in, and this is where the pressure really now falls on T-Mac to carry this team for the next few minutes offensively.
That is one sweat-soaked jersey that Yao Ming has on his body. And you talked about the fact even in the second quarter he appeared winded. Well, it's hot in this arena. It was hot here today in Salt Lake City, and the temperature is up here, and we're also almost 5,000 feet above sea level as well here in Salt Lake City. Foul on Fisher again, second personal, second team foul in the quarter.
Well, I'll say this, he might be winded. He still has better stamina than any 7'5" guy I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And Yao Ming, when you have guys beating on you all the time, that wears on your legs and your energy as well.
He's got 9 rebounds, 18 points in 24 minutes. Turnover by the Rockets. That's 11 now by Houston. And 5 in the period for the Rockets. Boozer fouled as he got position underneath. That's 4 on Hayes.
And last turnover by T-Mac, I understand him trying to be a facilitator and get guys involved offensively, but first, when Yao Ming's not on the floor, he has to exhaust his own options first, trying to score for himself, and then find guys once you've tried to create a shot for yourself. That time, to try to feed the ball into Chuck Hayes or to Dikembe Mutombo right now in the low post is a wasted possession. Those guys aren't going to finish plays in there for you offensively. It's a different kind of facilitating the offense that Tracy McGrady needs to do. He's got to be at the top of the pecking order himself right now.
Is it almost like what Kobe Bryant's had to do with the Lakers? You know, you try for a while to rely on the guys around you, and then at some point you just say, you know what, I have to do it myself or we're not going to get out of the series.
Well, you've got to have a pulse on the individual game, and right now this team is struggling offensively and defensively, and Tracy McGrady has to look for himself to get going. He can carry a team for 4 or 5 minutes and get you an 8-10 point run all by himself, and that's what they need right now because the energy in here is just making Utah Jazz frenetic.
McGrady hits that one.
Yeah, he came off the mindset. He knew what he was doing with that basketball before he ever touched it. I love when scorers sometimes premeditate what they're going to do. That's what his teammates are looking for right now.
Williams gets into the paint. He's able to do that because of his strength, and he gets fouled. Will go to the line for a pair, and Houston is in the penalty now. Rafer Alston has committed 4 personals.
If you look at everything Deron Williams has done tonight offensively, it's really been after he's put the ball on the floor or caught the ball closer to the basket, because now once he's next to Rafer Alston, you know, Rafer's going to bounce off of him with those big shoulders and that thick chest. Rafer's going to do a great job of keeping him in front of him on the perimeter, but that's not what Deron Williams wants to get to. He wants to get to 15 feet and in, and that's where he's really controlled this game tonight.
In terms of the young point guards in the NBA, where do you think he ranks?
Well, I think he's right there with Chris Paul. I don't think there's any doubt about it. Chris Paul, obviously, you know, rookie of the year. This is a guy that is a different kind of game. He's a little bit smaller, a little bit quicker, more explosive, but Deron Williams plays with a tremendous pace and a tremendous poise, and you could go wrong no matter which one of these two guys you pick.
Utah's attempted 15 more free throws than Houston so far in this game. McGrady fouled on his way into the lane. That's going to go on Boozer. That's 3 personals on him. And 13 foul on the Jazz in the quarter. Houston leads this series 2-1. Game 5 on Monday night back in Houston. I gave the foul to Kirilenko instead of Boozer, so 3 on Kirilenko. And he'll go to the bench. Harpring back in. Harpring, the second leading scorer for Utah in the playoffs. Got 8 points off the bench in this game. McGrady on the much smaller Fisher, able to rise over him but can't hit it. Fisher with the rebound.
That's fine. Houston has to continue to exploit that matchup in the post with Derek Fisher guarding T-Mac, giving up all that size.
Williams again into the lane and scores, giving him 23 points in the game.
You know, typically you think about controlling the paint with your big guys and their post-ups and offensive rebounds, but Deron Williams has controlled the paint tonight with his ability to attack Houston and get into the seams off his penetration.
Williams has 9 of 12 from the field. Luther Head, Deron Williams' teammate in Illinois, trying to take it to the goal, and he was fouled.
Deron Williams, to me, has been the story of this game. He's just been relentless in his attack, and Houston has been slow to rotate. He just continues with his dribble, takes the extra one, and get to the rim. This is the pace that I talk about. You see him hesitate right there to see, is the defense going to rotate over and cut me off? He recognizes they're not, gets all the way to the rim and finishes, and gets a well-deserved rest for the last 3 minutes of this quarter.
Part of that great national runner-up team, along with Luther Head, who's at the foul line. D. Brown, who's on the Utah bench. Those 3 led the Illini, but they lost to North Carolina in the championship game. McGrady just 6 of 15 from the field tonight. Going to need him in the 4th, as Houston's deficit is 15 with just over 3 to go in the 3rd. John Lucas back into the game, seeing his first action of this series tonight. Played a few minutes in the first half. Harpring got position on McGrady and score, but a foul on T-Mac. That's his 3rd.
There are very few players you're ever going to find that will demand the basketball with more aggressiveness than Matt Harpring when he makes that cut from corner. It's a flex cut, gets a back pick. He goes from corner into the paint on a hard dive, and T-Mac's had a hard time in this series defending that because Matt Harpring is just so strong and so physical when he puts his body on you and demands he receive the basketball, and that time he's able to get it where he wants it.
And we mentioned earlier, there's not a lot of guys with playoff experience. Obviously, you've got Derek Fisher, who won 3 titles with the Lakers. Okur won a championship as a reserve with Detroit. And Harpring's been in the playoffs with Orlando and Philadelphia. Got the 2nd free throw. 16-point lead for Utah, equaling their largest lead tonight. Juwan Howard can't knock down that shot. Harpring with a rebound.
That's Juwan Howard's shot. He loves the baseline jumper, but when you've gone almost 36 minutes without taking one, it's a little difficult to really get that to go down for you. Now 0 for 4 from the field.
And 3 seconds called defensively on the Rockets, so technical free throw. And the ball coming up for Utah. First illegal defense call we've had in this game. Utah trying to even the series at 2 games apiece.
Hello, we are live from aisle 6.
Some amazing highlights from around the store.
Want a chance to win a trip to see the real ESPN SportsCenter set? Look for details at participating displays and pick up some Frost Brewed Cold Coors Light at your local retailer.
Hip, hip, Jorge! Hip, hip, Jorge! Hip, hip, Jorge!
Bring your baseball team home all season long with MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV. Whether you're a Chicago fan living in the East or a New York fan living out West, catch your favorite team no matter where you live with up to 60 out-of-market games a week. Non-stop baseball action you don't want to miss. And new on-screen scores and stats. Make every game a home game with MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV. Order by April 30th and save 20%.
It's like riding shotgun with NASCAR's top drivers. Introducing NASCAR Hot Pass, only on DirecTV. Choose from 5 top drivers each week and follow their team from start to finish. Constantly monitor the car's telemetry and hear live audio communications between the driver and pit crew.
One outside right now. Clear up right there.
NASCAR Hot Pass, only on DirecTV.
ABC Sunday, the NBA playoffs continue at 12:30. First, the defending champion Miami Heat look to avoid being eliminated at home, trailing 3 games to none against the Bulls. Then at 3:30, Kobe Bryant's Lakers look to even the series against Steve Nash and the Phoenix Suns. All on ABC, home of the NBA Finals. Great doubleheader tomorrow on ABC. Also on TNT tomorrow, Dallas Golden State with the Warriors up 2-1. We talked about Game 5 in this series on Monday. Also on Monday, Denver and San Antonio.
How about that Dallas Golden State series? I mean, you talk about a team with a swagger as an 8 seed. Golden State Warriors made that trade midseason, bring in Steven Jackson, Al Harrington, and I just think it gave them an arrogance almost and a cockiness that you need to go up against a #1 seed. And they just look like, at times, they make Dallas look foolish defensively with their quickness and the number of matchups they can come at you with. So that's a very interesting series. Dallas finds themselves remarkably in a must-win situation almost in Game 4 of that series in the first round.
Do you think it hurt Avery Johnson that he sat a lot of guys down the stretch, including a game against Golden State, a team that had their number? And you have a team like Phoenix. D'Antoni didn't sit his players. He played his starters down the stretch.
You know, no, I don't have a problem with Avery doing that. I don't think he had much of a choice. It's a tough situation. Do you really want to go into the playoffs taking a chance on Dirk or Josh Howard rolling an ankle or something like that? I think he did the right thing. I just think they had probably the worst matchup imaginable for them in the first round.
Boozer with the jumper. The lead goes to 19. Well, twice it's happened where an 8 seed has defeated a 1. Fisher on the floor somehow got it to Boozer, but he lost it.
Wow. Great hustle by Derek Fisher. That's why the guy's part of 3 championship teams right there. He's got a sprained shoulder, and look at the distance he covered diving on the floor, just trying to create an extra possession for his team. I can't say enough about what this guy has meant to the development of Deron Williams and bringing him in this year. A veteran point guard that can show this guy the ropes and what it takes to be a professional at this level. And Deron Williams will be the first one to tell you he's had a huge influence on the year that he's had.
121st career postseason game for Derek Fisher. And Yao gets called for the offensive foul. That's his second personal as he crashed into Jaron Collins. That's the 6th turnover by the Rockets here in the quarter, and they have only 12 points since halftime. In Game 3, they scored only 67 points for the entire game. That was a playoff franchise low. Now an offensive foul is called on Harpring. It's the second.
Well, for years, the Utah Jazz known for those nice illegal picks set by their guards. John Stockton, Jeff Hornacek at the top of the list. But now Matt Harpring gets on the act, an illegal pick down in the baseline.
Under 2 to go here in the third quarter. 19-point lead for Utah, trying to even this best of 7 at 2 games apiece. Howard setting the screen on Fisher. Lucas passes to nobody. He's trying for Luther Head, not on the same page that time.
Well, the drop-off for this team right now with Rafer Alston off the floor, and you see him now coming back into the game, is just tremendous in the decision-making out there with your primary ball handler with John Lucas. Not that John Lucas hasn't been a contributor to this team, and he's a solid player, but right now the moment might be a little bit big for him. Rafer Alston has to get back in the game and try to stabilize. It's already 19. Houston's got to try to cut into this heading into the fourth to have any shot.
Why isn't McGrady getting more touches on offense? Is it him or is it his teammates?
So I think part of it's because Utah is so focused on where he goes on the perimeter that every time he comes off a pick and roll at the three-point line, there are 2 guys at least on him, so he's trying to do the right thing and make the right pass. But sometimes, his teammates are looking at him to be more aggressive offensively and try to score.
You need a lot of points here, and this is a team that's got 12 points in the quarter. They're down 19. Yao is struggling from the floor, and McGrady's not getting touches. He is 6 of 15, so he hasn't shot well himself, but he can get points in bunches if he gets a touch. Here's a Houston foul as Harpring got into the lane. That's on McGrady. That's 4 on T-Mac. Houston in the penalty, so Harpring will be at the free throw line.
It certainly has been all about the home court so far, without doubt. Utah's been a different team energy-wise in this building. And one thing that Houston has to be careful of, they can't rely on just the fact that they've got home court and that some of their younger players and some of their role players typically are going to play better in Houston, because the Utah Jazz, as hard as they play, they're certainly capable of going into Houston and getting a win in this series. So the Rockets have to be very careful.
Utah won the regular season series 3-1, won a game in Houston. Jazz have not been good on the road in the playoffs, losing 16 of their last 17, but that was not this group. This is the first time in the postseason in 4 years for this team. Great job by Harpring, but then a foul is called. Third on Harpring.
Tonight, Utah has just been quicker to the ball defensively. You know, I talked about T-Mac and how they're playing him on the perimeter. Really, he has no line of vision anytime he dribbles the basketball in the half court. Same thing with Yao Ming. When he's caught it and gone quickly down there, he has scored. But even that time, he catches the ball with T-Mac not on the floor. Basically, Utah has no regard for anybody else offensively right now for the Houston Rockets, so they swarm him. Harpring makes a play on the ball, ends up with a foul, but it's 3 defenders around Yao Ming at all times. So that's what we're going to see as long as T-Mac's out of the game.
So 20 now for Yao. 19-point game under a minute to go in the third quarter. McGrady on the bench with 4 fouls. Giracek off the screen. And a big game 3 with 10 points. Giracek with 6 points tonight. Former second-round draft pick of the Mavericks. Yao with a nice kick out to Luther Head. And finally, Head buries a 3. Shot 44% from 3 during the regular season, but has really struggled in the playoffs.
Yeah, Dave, you know, that may or may not have an impact tonight, but that's good for Luther Head as they move forward. You need to see that ball going in the basket to restore your confidence.
A 1-second difference between game and shot clocks. Giracek on Howard, try to feed the post, cut it off, and 2-1. Head, and great play defensively by Fisher. Oh, what a job defensively. And with 1 second left, Giracek hits the 3, and Utah takes a 21-point lead in the fourth quarter.
Well, we talked about Derek Fisher's leadership that time. Read the eyes of Head and Lucas, or Head and Alston on the break, makes a great defensive play. What a change in momentum.
Fisher starts it, and then Giracek finishes on the other end.
The kind of run and kind of end to a quarter Jeff Van Gundy dreaded most, particularly in this building.
That's a great point, because the crowd roaring and on its feet as we go to the fourth quarter here in Salt Lake City. Utah looking to even the series at 2 games apiece. The Jazz 12 minutes away from doing so.
Introducing the all-new Jeep Patriot with fold-flat seats, flip-down liftgate speakers, and MP3 connectivity. Starting at $14,985. Choose your adventure at patriotadventure.com.
You know those stories you hear? A high school kid takes a job at McDonald's. They work hard, take advantage of opportunities. And years later, that kid who was working at one McDonald's now leaves thousands. You believe those stories? I did.
Yeah, this head ball coach. Hey, I told you he could really go. Click, clack.
Man, that's an ugly sweater.
All right, Chuck, leave me alone. I'm trying to make this putt.
If you make this putt, I'll put you in my 5.
Are you serious?
Dead serious. I'm sorry, were you busy?
Who's in your fave 5? My fave's from T-Mobile. Unlimited calls to any 5 people, any number, even landlines.
Follow the curving Irish lanes long enough, and you'll find yourself in the town of Wicklow. And if you arrive on that most special day in Ireland, you'll find the town celebrating their favorite holiday in traditional fashion.
Hey, John, happy 5th of Mayo.
There's been a scorcher sighting.
Scorcher is back.
It's a hot one.
Hey, Scorcher.
Introducing the all-new Jeep Patriot with traction control, electronic stability program, and ABS brakes. Starting at $14,985. Choose your adventure at patriotadventure.com.
Back in Salt Lake City, where Utah is a 21-point lead thanks to a 33-point third quarter. And as we showed you earlier, the winner of the third quarter has won each game in this series. Will Utah be able to hold on to this lead in the fourth quarter? After outscoring Houston by 13 and doing a good job on both ends of the floor in that period.
Yeah, forced 8 turnovers. And if you're Houston Rockets, you play a team as good defensively as Utah and you're not shooting well from the field, you really can't afford to turn the basketball over. Not only does it obviously cost you possessions, it allows Utah to get out in transition, which they did a great job of in that quarter, and maximizing not having to play against Houston's half-court defense.
So Boozer and Fisher will start the period on the bench. Again, Fisher with a slight sprained right shoulder, but he's come up with some huge plays on defense in this game. Millsap with the offensive rebound. Yao committed his 3rd personal foul on the other end. Do the Rockets have a run in them here in the fourth quarter? Or will Utah hang on and even this best of 7 at 2 games apiece with Game 5 Monday in Houston? Shot clock at 5, and Giricek travel.
Well, if you're the Houston Rockets, obviously, at this point, you've got to string together some stops. They certainly can come back when you have a guy like Tracy McGrady. He's done it many times in his career because of his ability to take it out to the three-point line and hit you with a flurry of buckets. He can erase a deficit in a hurry, but right now they've got to have a sense of urgency offensively what they're doing.
McGrady finds Battier in the corner, and it goes for 3.
That's a good start. Now you've got to continue to put pressure on these guys on the perimeter defensively, particularly Giricek and Harpring. Make those guys put the ball on the basketball floor and make decisions.
7 points for Battier tonight. There's Deron Williams, who has been absolutely spectacular here in Game 4. Harpring with the open jumper. 13 for him, but Deron Williams made that happen.
Yeah, again, created by Deron Williams, his ability to get down to the baseline. It forces a defense to collapse, and now you get in scramble mode, and that makes Giricek and Harpring very valuable because both guys are good catch and shoot players.
5 assists for Williams to go along with 23 points. Luther Head, Williams' college teammate, can't knock down a triple, and Williams back on the other end. Another thing about Williams, as I was about to say that he almost turned it over, he has a 3-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. That's what he had during the regular season. Finds Millsap underneath and almost got that to drop. I don't know how he got it around Yao. McGrady off the bounce, and it will go to the Jazz.
I think T-Mac that time came off the pick and roll. He didn't really take his dribble far enough to escape the traffic. He pulled up as soon as he came off the pick. The defender at that point can still get a hand up and affect your shot, and I think that's what happened on that possession for the Houston Rockets.
McGrady 18 points, but only 6 of 17 from the floor. Kirilenko, nice pass to Harpring, it gets clobbered and gets the basket.
Yeah. Matt Harpring with a great weak side to strong cut along the baseline, uses that body to seal off Tracy McGrady, able to get to the rim and finish, and that's the 5th foul on Tracy McGrady.
And 5 now on Tracy McGrady. Offensive rebound for Harpring, got his own miss. And McGrady may have hurt himself. Wincing a bit. A wide open Okur. And another offensive rebound. Kirilenko this time.
One of the best offensive rebounding team in the league. They come at you from every angle because even their role players, guys like Kirilenko and Harpring and Girasek, those guys attack the glass and go extremely hard as well. And you've got to account for everybody, every possession. It's a difficult task.
Houston is number 1 in the NBA. At least they were in the regular season in defensive rebounds. But that's how they lost game 3. They just got outboarded down the stretch. And that's been the case here in the second half tonight.
E-squared lithium, the world's longest lasting AA battery and high-tech devices. Energizer, keep going.
The only way to undo a disaster,
you cannot change the past.
Yes, one theory, is to follow deja vu and go back to the past.
You don't have to do this. What if I already have?
Deja Vu. Own it today on DVD and Blu-ray disc.
Really like this hot fudge shake.
The Oreo bits are good.
Why aren't you drinking yours?
I'm waiting for it to cool down.
It's a hot fudge shake, but it's not hot. Once the hot fudge hits the shake part, it's all cold. See?
Not as hot as you would think a shake might be.
You never think that a shake is hot.
Unless it's called a hot fudge shake.
Even then, you pretty much figure out that it's not going to be hot.
Well, you have to have somebody explain it to you.
You do.
Hot fudge shake made with Oreo cookies. New at Sonic. A favorite childhood cookie blended with hot fudge into a cool, creamy treat. Pay the Sonic way. Swipe your credit or My Sonic card from your car.
Show your love for the NBA by wearing what the pros wear.
Oh, where did he come from?
You can personalize any team jersey with any name or number you want. So log on to NBAstore.com now and choose any player from any team.
Can you believe what you just saw?
It's the perfect way to show your style, on or off the court.
Oh, what a finish!
NBAstore.com. We've got it all. One store, every team.
This is a SportsCenter 30 at 30 update. I'm Mark Morgan. In Saturday's NFL draft, quarterback Jamarcus Russell of LSU was selected #1 overall by the Raiders, while quarterback Brady Quinn of Notre Dame fell to 22nd, where he was picked by the Cleveland Browns. Barry Bonds hit career home run number 742 against the D-backs Saturday evening. He went deep in the first inning off Edgar Gonzalez. Bonds now 13 behind Hank Aaron. And the Spurs beat the Nuggets 96-91 to take a 2-1 lead in their series. SportsCenter is coming up immediately following the game. Let's now go back to Salt Lake City.
All right, Mark, so the Spurs have won 2 in a row in that series. Pistons have done away with Orlando. The Cavaliers up 3-0 on Washington. And tomorrow on ABC, a doubleheader. Pair of Game 4s. The Bulls look to sweep the Heat at 1 Eastern. And the Lakers try to even the series with the Suns at 2 games apiece at 3:30 Eastern. And a lot of people said, man, Cleveland got a break. They get Washington. The Bulls have to play the Heat. But Chicago apparently doesn't mind playing Miami.
Yeah, they're a very good basketball team. They're great defensively, and they really share it. And of course, they caught Miami Heat with Dwayne Wade coming back, and it's obvious he's not exactly the same with that shoulder injury and the rust from his game missing 6 weeks, and he just hasn't had the impact in that series that he would have needed to for the Miami Heat to really have a chance.
Okur with the basket. No team has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit in the playoffs to win a series. Is it possible for the Heat to do that, given the fact they won a title and they have Dwayne Wade?
Well, I'll say this, it's not likely, but if you're going to bet on a team ever doing it, I think it'd probably be a team that Shaq's on, and Dwayne Wade and guys like that and all those veteran players. You know, a team like that only needs to get one win, and then they're going to feel like they're back in the series again. They're going to get some confidence back and have an opportunity, but the way Chicago's playing, it's going to be very difficult for Miami to get back in that.
That's game 1 of our doubleheader on ABC tomorrow. Lakers and Suns game 2 as Millsap misses. Here comes McGrady, who's playing with 5 personal fouls. Alston off the bounce. Houston has to make the most of every single possession at this point.
But one thing they need is to get at least somebody going to the offensive glass. That time, not one red jersey in the paint when Rafer Alston shoots that pull-up jump shot.
Shot clock at 5. Okur looking for another J. Got it. At 16 points now for Okur.
That was great communication that time. Deron Williams basically yelled at Mehmet Okur to slip the pick, get to the foul line because he saw Okur's man jump out, creating a double team on Deron Williams.
Foul on Kirilenko. You know, it's interesting. We were kind of talking today after Dallas being down 2-1. The Suns didn't look great in game 3. You know, Spurs got down 1, but they won 2 in a row. Who right now is the best team in the NBA based on what you've seen in the playoffs? Detroit?
Wow, I'm staying with the Phoenix Suns. I think that that's a team that I've said all year I felt was good enough to win a championship. I think Amari Stoudemire sets them apart from the version that they put on the floor the last 2 years. The first year they've been completely healthy heading into the playoffs, and I think, you know, Dallas right now absolutely has their hands full getting out of the first round, and that's the best news that could happen, I think, for the Phoenix Suns.
Anything you saw in game 3 that the Suns did that make you a little nervous if you're a Suns fan going into game 4 on ABC tomorrow?
No, I really felt that that was more on the Lakers than Phoenix. I thought that their effort was much better. Kwame Brown came out and had an impact. And, you know, you don't need Kwame Brown to be great every night, but he has to have a presence on the floor if the Phoenix Suns are going to play that small. And that's what Kwame Brown came out and gave them. A lot of energy. He finished around the rim, and that made Kobe Bryant have some confidence in him and his teammates. And, of course, Kobe was spectacular offensively and did what he had to get that team back in the game and get a win. But I just think Phoenix is too much offensively for that team to really deal with over a series.
Yao travels, so Utah ball with a 23-point lead. Well, the Suns were doing something, too, that they don't normally do, and that's miss jump shots. They're missing a lot of them. Barbosa, Bell struggling a little bit from three-point land. And the Suns didn't play great, and they still were in the game the entire way.
Yeah, and that's the way Phoenix plays. And you know they can erase any deficit faster than any team in the league, so they're always in a game, regardless of the score. But as I said earlier, you don't want to go back to Phoenix 2-2 with a team like LA and a player like Kobe Bryant, because now they think all we have to do is steal one, and we're going to win this series.
Harpring with the jumper. Boy, has he been good off the bench in this series. Matt Harpring with 17 points. 5 rebounds as well off the bench for the 9th-year pro out of Georgia Tech. And the largest lead tonight for Utah, 25 points. Battier for 3 on the other end.
Well, that's something they've really missed. I mean, Shane Battier, throughout the course of the regular season, has been their reliable third scorer. He's been a guy that typically hits big threes. He plants in that corner, very reliable shooter, and he just has not even been a presence on the floor tonight, really, at either end.
Okur starting to heat up, but couldn't knock down that 3. And here comes McGrady. 6 of 17 from the field for T-Mac. 5 personal fouls. Battier, nice dish to Hayes, who gets fouled by Williams and scores. So an opportunity for a 3-point play, but it appears Utah is on its way to evening the series at 2 games apiece.
Love Chevy. An American Revolution.
No one's ever jumped 5 bricks. 4 bricks and a small chunk of wood, maybe. Not 5 bricks.
Go to xgamesgear.com to find out more.
Coming up on SportsCenter, how many millions Brady Quinn lost in the 2007 NFL Draft, and which teams made the most of their Saturday selections. Plus, an alleged job-saving situation in the Bronx on SportsCenter after the game.
Someday, your day will come. Someday, you too will bask in the soft, warm glow of high definition. My friend, someday is today. With prices like ours, Vizio's making HD TV a possibility for everyone.
Vizio.
I'm about to put Tabasco sauce in my eyes. We are filming a pseudo-porn.
Oh, there it is.
Rad Girls, a new series on Fuse. Being bad never looks so good. Check out the insane stunts and crazy antics every Tuesday at 10, followed by The Whitest Kids You Know, only on Fuse, channel 339.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Chevy, an American Revolution.
Utah 5 minutes away from tying this series at 2 games apiece. Our Chevy game track, McGrady and Yao, good but not good enough tonight. And meanwhile, Deron Williams, spectacular for Utah. And 4 players in all, including Williams, with at least 15 points tonight.
Yeah, Deron Williams has really controlled the game. Mehmet Okur finally breaks out offensively as well. Able to get inside for a couple of buckets and not live at that three-point line. Kind of got him going. And then the great energy off the bench that they've gotten from Matt Harpring and Gordon Garasek.
Deron Williams with 23 points on 9 of 13 shooting for the Jazz, who are down in this series 2-1. Game 5 slated for Monday in Houston. And the bench over the last 2 games of this series, Utah has 64 points from its reserves. Houston has 5 after getting shut out in game 3, and you'd have to think that's going to change at some point if Houston's going to win the series.
Well, yeah, as I said, role players typically play better at home, and I think that's what you're going to see when they get back home. One of the problems they have, though, when you watch them match up with Deron Williams, all of the guards that have responsibility of guarding him are small. Rafer Alston, Luther Head, John Lucas, all of those guys, and Deron Williams just uses that body to go anywhere he wants to on the floor. That's what has to change more than anything. They've got to get more traps on Deron Williams on the perimeter and make him give the ball up.
Offensive foul is called on Boozer. That's his 4th.
You know, the important thing with your Houston Rockets that you head back to Houston is not to hang your head and think that you came here and lost anything. Yes, you didn't play well offensively, but really, where are you right now? You have home court advantage in a best-of-3 series after this, and that's exactly how you have to look at it. Go home, have energy, play well, get a win, and you're exactly where you're supposed to be at that point.
Neither team has won a playoff series in a while. Houston's last postseason win was in 2000 against Seattle. They've lost 4 straight series since. The Rockets have lost 5 series in a row. Their last playoff win was in 1997. They won 2 series that year before losing to Utah in the conference finals. As mentioned, tomorrow on ABC as Yao Ming picks up his 5th personal foul. Chicago trying to sweep the Heat in game 1 of our ABC doubleheader, and then the Lakers trying to even the Suns at 2 games apiece at 3:30 Eastern. Sunday, New Jersey and Toronto. On TNT, Golden State and Dallas. And on NBA TV Monday, it's the Cavs and Wizards. Cleveland trying to sweep Washington. If Golden State wins that game tomorrow, they go up 3-1 in that series and takes home court away from the Mavericks. I don't know if people are going to be that surprised based on what they've seen so far in the series.
Yeah, because this isn't like the Golden State Warriors are making fluke shots, and you know, everybody on Dallas has been horrendous. The Golden State is coming out, and they're playing their style of basketball, and they're dictating the way that those games are played. And Baron Davis has dominated the series, even with the ejection in Game 2. He's been the best player on the floor, and when he plays that way, he's the best point guard in the league when Baron Davis comes out and plays the way he did in Game 1 and Game 3. The problem with him over the years has been is the commitment there every night. Certainly looks like it is in this series, and that's big, big trouble for the Dallas Mavericks.
Great job by Chris Mullin assembling that team, and then the hiring of Don Nelson. And now he's turned things around as Okur fouls Rafer Alston. It's interesting, too. Mullin and Nelson both continue to say Dallas is the better team. Dallas is the better team. Yeah, I know we're up 2-1, but they're still the better team.
Well, things are bothering the Dallas Mavericks in that series. One thing that's bothering him, Dirk Nowitzki has a guy in front of him that's about 6'8", every possession that's quick and long and can bother him and force him areas in the floor he doesn't want to go and force him into tough shots. And that's been a big part of their problems. Their offense that they're typically running with him in the high post, they run everything through him, that hasn't been effective. And now they're trying to figure out where else do we go. And at the same time, you've got guys coming at you in waves from the other end of the floor. So, you know, Avery Johnson, Dallas Mavericks won 67 games for a reason. They've got to get back and regroup, come out, just get one win, and you're going to find yourselves right back where you were when this whole thing started.
Kirilenko fouled. He'll go to the line for 2. 22-point Utah lead. The Jazz on its way to tying the Rockets at 2 games apiece with Game 5 Monday in Houston.
These are our seats right here.
Yeah?
Oh, this is awesome! Come on, let's do it now. Awesome! Yes, sir! Everybody's gonna get hands up. Hey, we're all hanging out tonight.
If you could sit here for the same price as here,
Peanuts!
why wouldn't you?
Oh!
It's the same with auto insurance. With discounts up to 40%, it's possible to get the personal service of a State Farm agent for the same or less than those other guys. Call an agent 24/7 or visit statefarm.com.
What do you like best about being up here?
Well, that's easy. I love the view. I love seeing all the places people have to go. I love being part of the company that helps those people get there. I love the fact that we're up here looking out over everyone down there. Kind of like angels, but instead of wings, we got a blimp. What do you like best?
I like seeing all the games. And all that stuff you said, too.
Innovative thinking up here so you can get there. Goodyear. Get there.
Love this 7-layer dip. You can't jump with dip. No, it's a 7-layer crunch wrap. 7-layer dip wrapped up. See? It's good to go. It's good to go. That's good to go. Uh-oh.
Taco Bell's new 7-layer crunch wrap. Hearty beans and warm nacho cheese sauce layered with cool sour cream and guacamole. Wrapped up and good to go. To get the great taste of 7-layer dip, think outside the bun.
It's been a rough series for Andre Kirilenko. He was in tears after Game 1, but his team's doing well. They're looking to even things at 2 apiece. And his wife Masha's boutique called Fleur de Lis is doing very well. Yesterday, Carlos Boozer and his brother visited, and they bought 4 bags worth of clothes. We had a chance to talk with Masha about her husband and his emotions after Game 1 of this series.
We decided that we're not going to talk about basketball with him no more or with anybody else no more because it's been enough. But the only thing I can say, when a woman cries, I think she gets emotional. That's why she cries. When a man cries, that means he's helpless. So that was a very, very hard time for me and for him.
Masha's boutique, Fleur de Lis, doing very well. And Masha also a Russian pop star. And it's located right behind the arena at Gateway Mall. A lot of upscale clothing that, as mentioned, Carlos and his brother walked out of there with 4 bags worth of clothes, and I saw a truck backing up as well. Tim, that wasn't yours, was it?
No, unfortunately I didn't get the invite to the open house, but that's okay. I'll get over there. I'll try to stop in before I head out of town.
Now, Kirilenko's numbers have not been great, but the hustle has been there. He's got 3 blocks tonight. He's got 4 assists. He's got 4 rebounds. He's got 3 points. Good hustle there. Almost came up with a steal, and that disrupted things for the Rockets.
And most importantly, and Jerry Sloan alluded to this, he also has the support of his teammates and the support of the coaching staff. And this is a guy that's really probably the most well-liked guy on this team because he's so selfless, and his offensive game certainly has tailed off from where he was a couple years ago, but he still can have an impact because of his energy and his defensive ability on the floor. And they're going to need Andrei Kirilenko. And the further they go into the playoffs, they won't have any chance to win this series and to move on beyond that. They need him to play well.
Deron Williams probably done for the game, 25 points, 7 assists. But it's interesting, we're talking with Jerry Sloan, and there's a lot made in the papers about Sloan not real thrilled with the show of emotions by Kirilenko in game 1, but he pretty much denied that in talking with us. Said he's not upset with Kirilenko, says they have a good relationship professionally and personally, and as you said, Tim, has the support of his teammates, and it shows on the floor.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, Jerry Sloan actually almost became defensive about Andrei Kirilenko and trying to make it very clear that no one was really down on Andrei Kirilenko or upset or disappointed with him. He's a player that right now has lost his confidence, and a lot of guys have gone through that in the league, and his teammates are going to try to help him get back to the level he was a couple years ago. And this guy was mentioned as being an all-star in this league and the Defensive Player of the Year candidate.
Millsap with the basket on the other end. 6 boards, 4 points for Millsap. And believe it or not, someone is going to score 100 points in this series. Houston came close in game 2 with 98, but the winners in game 1 and game 3 had 84 and 81 respectively, but the Jazz closing in now on the century mark. And again, game 4 coming up on Monday, and coming up on SportsCenter next here on ESPN. All the news and winners and losers from the 2007 NFL Draft. And Joe Torre and the Yankees, is Joe Torre's job on the line. Brady Quinn goes at number 22. Not like what happened with Aaron Rodgers when he fell all the way to the Packers a few years ago. Kind of like Matt Leinart dropping to 10 last year with the Cardinals.
Well, how about if you're Brady Quinn and the Cleveland Browns? You know, everybody thought they were going to take a quarterback and Brady Quinn at that 3 pick. Instead, you end up with a big stud tackle to protect Brady Quinn. You end up with him anyway at 22, so things worked out pretty well in Cleveland.
Now they get Joe Thomas at number 3, outstanding tackle from Wisconsin. And Phil Savage done a great job with the Browns, and you can catch rounds 4 through 7 all day tomorrow on ESPN coverage of the 2007 NFL Draft. There were a lot of trades today, including tonight. Raiders picked up another quarterback, Josh McCown from the Lions. There was talk that they were going to do that and then draft Calvin Johnson. They draft Russell, but they make the trade anyway.
And I think my Redskins' next pick is next Thursday, so I'm looking forward to that too. Somebody to go along with LaRon Landry. At least now I can say they have the best set of safeties in the league with Sean Taylor.
And a lot of safeties going in the first round of this draft this year, and a lot of players going from LSU, including Landry and Jamarcus Russell, who was the first overall pick. So Utah a minute away from tying the series at 2 games apiece. Don't forget tomorrow on ABC doubleheader. Chicago looks for the sweep against Miami, and then the Suns try to go 3-1 on the Lakers. Ulis at the foul line, gets the first one. They're talking about the NFL draft, and here are some guys that were drafted in the NFL and the NBA. How about Pat Riley, drafted by Tom Landry with the Cowboys. Everybody knows about Dave Winfield, but Quinn Buckner drafted by your Skins.
And my former coach, drafted by my team, the Washington Redskins. I played for Quinn in Dallas back in the early 90s.
Dave Winfield was drafted in all 3 sports. Quinn Buckner was a safety. You're talking about safeties at Indiana. He was also a basketball stand-up. Under a minute to go here in game 4. Nice drive by Spanulis. SportsCenter follows us 38 seconds and counting, and Utah's going to tie the series at 2. San Antonio won earlier tonight against Denver to go up 2-1. Highlights of that coming up, as well as the earlier games in the NBA playoffs today, including Detroit sweeping Orlando. And of course, Boomer and the gang from New York and the NFL draft. Araujo missing from outside. And maybe Utah is not going to get 100 as Howard scores.
Spanulis says, hey, you know what, the game might be over. I'm going to put a little mustard on his pass right here, drop a little between the legs, drop back pass to Jay Howard, let him finish on a strong note. Even T-Mac saying, man, I can't believe he actually threw that pass at that stage of the game.
Now, Yao and McGrady have played well again tonight, but it wasn't enough. And for a while, they're looking like Rafer Alston might be that third scorer for them. As Luther Head gets inside, but lane violation is called.
And like I said a minute ago, the most important thing for Houston, you know what? Let's get out of Utah, get back on that plane, get back home, and understand that this is a now best-of-3 series. You still have home court. You haven't lost anything despite the fact that you haven't played well.
Houston wins games 1 and 2. Utah comes to EnergySolutions Arena in Salt Lake City and wins games 3 and 4 to tie this thing up at 2 games apiece. Another double-double for Boozer. Great effort by a banged-up Fisher. Deron Williams was spectacular. And a 98-85 Utah win over Houston to tie things up at 2 games apiece. This has been a presentation of ESPN.